Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Watchalong live here on the Toon Review YouTube channel. Very, very interesting team lineup, I have to say. I'm not overly impressed. I'm quite surprised by the team lineup, if I'm openly honest, guys. Not what I expected at all. We'll have a look at it straight away because obviously there's a lot of comments in about the team lineup already. There it is. We go with Nick Pope, Kieran Trippier, Jamal Lascelles, Sven Botman, Dan Burn, Bruno, Sean Longstaff, Joe Linton, Miggy, Anthony Gordon gets a start, and Callum Wilson keeps his place. So on the bench, we have Dubravka, St. Maximan, Ritchie, Target, Isak, Manquillo, Murphy, Willock, and Anderson. I have to say, guys, if I'm openly honest about this, I'm worried about Jamal Lascelles at the back. I am also worried about Callum Wilson up front. I don't know what he's done to deserve a start today, guys. I really don't. I'm very, very surprised that Callum's starting the game, given his form of recent weeks and months. However, again, we have to put our trust into Eddie Howe, and at the moment, that is the lineup he wants to go for. Manchester City, they line up with Edison, Walker, Akanji, Diaz, Ake, Rodrigo, De Bruyne, Gundogan, Foden, Grealish, and Haaland. So a very, very strong lineup from Manchester City today. So, you know, we're going to be up against it, guys. There's no doubt about that. Obviously, Fabian Schär's injury, you know, we spoke about it in the week that he may have been concussed. And you know, it shouldn't really have stayed on the pitch at Wembley Stadium, if we're being brutally honest. However, he did. But it seems like he is injured, possibly concussion protocol had to come in there. Zishan, thank you very much for your $4.99. He says, I know we say in how we trust, but I'm questioning that today. Why the hell is Wilson up front? Lascelles might not be a bad option at set pieces. Yeah, I have to question the inclusion of Callum Wilson. He just hasn't been good enough within recent weeks. You know, Isak came on last week and looked really, really good. But unfortunately, I mean, it doesn't seem to matter what Isak does, whether he plays well or not. He is starting Wilson, and I'm very surprised by that. Really surprised. Paul says, can't see Maximan and Isak being happy not starting. Both will come on in the game, though. Up there, one says, hi, everyone. A bit nervous about the lineup. Not sure about it at all. Wilson again and Maxi out. Presumably Shah is unfit. Dave says, was convinced would get to see Isak, Gordon and Maxi. That is the three guys that I honestly thought would play today. I really did. And I'm very surprised that it's not those three. I'm glad we're resting Schär, to be honest. I'm worried about his head injuries. They take their toll. Yeah, I really do think it's protocol today, which is why he's missing. Rodri is a beast on set pieces. Anderson has to be a sign that ASM and Isak are gone in the summer. Only reason why both are on the bench. Anders, there's no way Isak is leaving in the summer. They've spent £60 million on him. I don't understand why he's not playing today. I have to be honest, openly honest. I don't know why he's not playing. I really don't. It's a surprise to me and a surprise to many, many people. Barbara says, if we suffer a bad loss today for the first time this season, I blame Eddie Howe. Dynamics says, I thought we might experiment a bit more in this game. Why would Isak stay? Don't get a chance. Waste of his time. Only reason to stay is money. And there's a pretty negative look on things. Lascelles will attack crosses and free kicks. That's one good thing. Yeah, he will. And you know, if anything good comes out of Lascelles being in the starting lineup, then it's going to have to be that, isn't it? Guys, don't forget, if you do like the stream today, please do hit that like button. And of course, if you're new to the channel and you like what you see, please also do subscribe and hit that notification bell, which will let you know when we go live, upload, or we schedule in a live show. As you can see there, We're well over 17,500 now, on the way to 18. And with your help, we will get there. James says, I don't get why Lascelles is playing. Why not play target and move Burnt to centre-back? Again, that's what I was questioning when I saw the team lineup, I have to be honest. Chris says the negativity is ridiculous. It's not negativity, it's just opinions, Chris, to be honest. You know, when kickoff comes in what, 20 minutes time, we'll be right behind the lads, without a shadow of a doubt. Surely a final chance for Wilson, says Aston. I think Gordon will service him better than Maxi. Surprised Miggy's not rested. ASM and Isak to come on when the game is more stretched. Rani Granny says Lascelles is to football what Paul is to ice hockey. You're funny. You're very funny. JP says, got to be honest, not impressed with our lineup today. I know our bench is stronger, but front three, I expected more change. He also thinks that Lascelles is going to score today. That would be nice. We do know that he has a habit of scoring from set pieces, etc. This is his opportunity today. Paul says, afternoon all, I'm slightly disappointed that Wilson is starting, but trust in Eddie. Julie's not happy that Isak isn't starting. I think a lot of people were expecting Isak to start, and Maxi as well, to be honest. I thought Maxi, you know, although his final ball wasn't good enough in the final, I think he certainly did enough in that game to start today. I would have left Miggy out because I don't think Miggy's playing particularly well at the minute. He's getting back into that habit of just running around like a loose, headless chicken. I know he scored against Bournemouth, but he hasn't really hit the heights for quite some time. I mean, to be honest, for quite some time. So I thought he would have been dropped. We can have a real go at them. 3-1 to the Toon. I like your thinking, Ayosi. I like your thinking. I think he wants work rate from the wingers versus City. That's why Maxi isn't playing. I mean, you're saying work rate, Tony, but, you know, Maxi put a shift in last week. I mean, you're talking about work rate. I think he did as much as anyone else, if not more. Like I say, his final ball was very poor, yes, and I'm certainly not going to argue on that situation. But what I will argue with is you know, work rate. I don't think you can say that Maxi didn't work last week. Dave says we could very easily drop out of the top six soon. Need a bit of a run now with results. Liverpool putting results together, and Brighton and Brentford looking good. Wilson needs a performance. Yeah, we've got some good games coming up after this one, don't forget. You know, we've got Wolves and Forest, which are very winnable games, providing we're playing well, which again, we'll see. Lascelles marking Haaland, bye-bye positive goal difference. It does scare you a little bit, doesn't it? Haaland against Lascelles. You've got to be honest, man. You can't sit here, anybody, and say they're not worried about Lascelles, you know, in that position, because we are worried about Lascelles in that position. Richie saying that you know, something about Wilson must be bang on in training. I don't know. I don't know why he's starting. Look, I hope Callum goes in and scores a hat-trick today. I really do. And is he capable of that? Absolutely. But at the same time, you know, we have to be honest with ourselves and say that Callum hasn't been great over the last few months since the World Cup. But, you know, Eddie's put him in today again. And like I said earlier, you know, come kickoff, we'll back him 100%. If it doesn't work, we'll talk about it in the review. But at the minute, he's playing. So Jack's not very happy that he's dropped the ASM for Gordon. I thought Gordon would have been the other side. Yes, and Eddie, we trust. Suppose one day we'll understand why he chooses the players he does. Look, for all, you know, I mean, I can understand, you know, I love Eddie Howe. Everybody loves Eddie Howe and what he's done for this football club since he came in. But he's not, you know, he's not devoid of criticism, guys. He's really not. You know, if he makes mistakes and he doesn't get things right, then, you know, like any other Premier League manager, he'll get criticised. And certainly us as Newcastle fans, you know, nobody's untouchable. You know, if he makes mistakes, then we'll see it. Jack says, and why is he not dropping Wilson? He needs to grow a pair. Yeah. My Bruno G shirt arrived a day too late for the cup final, but I can have it on today. Thank goodness I've lost 2 stone in the last year. It wouldn't have fit at all. There you go. Afternoon, Roger. Hope you're well. Dear, my wife came home early, and as I was away last weekend, she wants to do something today. I'll drop in when I can. Steve. You know, the game will be done and dusted by 2:30, man. You've got the rest of the day. Get a telt, man. Matt says, that lineup, all my days. Looking forward to the watch along, though. Julie J says, I hadn't noticed Lascelles. Share missing. To be honest, Julie, when I first saw the team sheet, I didn't even notice Lascelles was in. I just looked straight for the front three and who was playing there. I didn't even bother looking at, who was in defence because I thought it would just be the same four. Obviously, that isn't the case. We have Lascelles in there, which certainly opened my eyes, I can tell you. Old Angry Noob says, we're in for a tanking. We've said that before and ended up playing really well. So just maybe. Kunga Fox says, no, I'm more worried about Miggy. He's been boom song for the past month, back to headless chicken mode. Jock says, I'm totally confused by the lineup. A lot of people seem to have missed the fact that Jamal Lascelles was in the team. And I think that's simply because everybody was looking at who was going to be the front three because everybody was expecting changes in the front three. That's the case. We're looking at it now thinking, wow, we're looking at the front three and thinking, yeah, Anthony Gordon's there, but there's no other changes. And nobody even bothered looking at the defense. They all just went, oh, God, he's starting Wilson when Wilson's not playing very well and all of this kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden, we look down the defense and, oh, my God. David Oliver says maybe Shea has concussion. I believe he has. I mean, that would seem to be the reason. Ken says, hi, Paul. Let's hope you bring us a win in the commentary. Billy's let us down lately. Only joking, Billy. It's not Billy's fault when he commentates it. We'll lose. He does brilliantly on the home games, does Billy. Gladys says, seems loyalty to ex-Bournemouth players above form. Maybe, but then you look at Callum Fraser. There's certainly no loyalty to ex-Bournemouth players there. Mr. Superfly, I just get this horrible feeling we're going to get smashed. In anyhow we trust, but this is the first time I'm concerned in the team he's putting out. Stu says this could be a bloodbath. Mal says, God damn, I think we're set up for defeat, so certainly not going for it. Very, very disappointed. Tony says Target mustn't be fit. Match fit, I agree with. But the only way you're going to get match fit is to play games. I'm really surprised that he hasn't just moved Burnt to centre back alongside Botman and put Matty Target back in. Playing Lascelles is a huge risk for me. It really is. It's a huge, huge risk. But you know what? Lascelles came in against Liverpool back, earlier this season, and he certainly didn't play badly. He did quite well, actually. So, let's just support him. Yes, we can worry about it, but let's just see what happens, and we'll talk about it after the game. When it's all done and dusted, of course. John thinks Maxi's gone in the summer. AG, glad Gordon is playing from the start. Yes. Mrs. saw Isak at the RVI this morning. Well, Daniel, I don't know how because he's in Manchester. He's on the bench. Nick says, I think Eddie has gotten this one wrong. What does Isak have to do to start? Look, I think if Callum Wilson has a poor game today, I think Eddie has questions to answer. I have no doubt about that. I think if push comes to shove, I think reporters are going to have to ask him the question, saying, look, Isak played really well at Wembley last week. Why has he not got the start this week when it's clear that Callum Wilson is bang out of form? But you know what? Callum may pop up today and get a couple of goals. Who knows? Michael says, this is a game where we are not going to have a lot of the ball. Callum presses a lot more than Isak does. How can not do right for doing wrong? It's a game where if we get a draw, it's a good result. Michael, I totally understand what you mean about the pressing. I really do. And yes, you're right. Callum is better at pressing than what Isak is. However, you have to look at the other side of it. If you're not playing very well, you shouldn't be in the starting lineup. And Callum, I think it's 1 goal in 14 or 15 games. Not good enough. Not good enough. And you know what? As much as we all love Callum Wilson, he's not the Callum Wilson that he was before the World Cup, and that is blatantly obvious. So, look, we just have to go with it. We just have to see how he does. But I'm concerned that if Wilson doesn't perform today, fingers will be pointed at the manager. And you know what? Like I said, he's not devoid of criticism. Let's not forget that. But something is... making him pick Wilson. I don't know what it is. Graham says, Share concussed. Surprised Wilson is in instead of Isak. I think Miggy needs a rest. Look, again, Anthony Gordon could make the difference here. Let's not forget that he's starting today. He could provide for Wilson that Maxi couldn't. Remember what we talked about earlier when the show started, that Maxi's final ball was lacking in the final. And how many times have we said about Maxi's final ball not being there? As well as I think he did last week, Gordon might just offer that final ball. He might be able to put it on a plate for Callum. And let's hope when Callum does get it on a plate, he smashes it in the onion bag, because that's what we need more than anything. James says, what if Wilson had contracted HIV or something similar, that the club cannot discriminate against him due to medical reason? Of course, I hope nothing of the sort, just as possible. Well, I think that's really stretching it out, James, to be honest. Stephen says, Isak did more in that Manchester match than Callum has done for weeks. I'm very surprised he's starting. Kungle says, if we win, I'll congratulate Eddie. However, if we lost, it has to be on him. Very strange decisions. Yep, absolutely. Football Matt says, where's Billy Bob? Well, he doesn't do the commentary on the away games, mate. It's me that does the commentary away games. Billy does the home games, but he will be coming on at halftime to analyze the game with Alex as well. Where's the goals going to come from, though? Again, question. Where are the goals? Eddie has tunnel vision and is stubborn in his ways. Even the training is regimented the same. Surely if you have particular problems, there need to be particular attention. Well, look, he might have been working very hard with Callum in training. I mean, who are we to know? We don't know. We just don't know. And by the way, guys, usual rules apply to this watch along. If you're watching it on TV and you're ahead of me, please do not put any spoilers in the chat or you will be removed straight away. There's no warnings. If you put spoilers in, you're out because it spoils it for everybody else. The amount of people that we get when we're doing watch-alongs, it's unfair on the mods as well to have to keep looking for people that putting spoilers in. So if you're ahead of me, you can pause your modern day TV now. When it comes to kickoff, if I haven't kicked off here, just pause your TV. And then as soon as I say we're underway, you'll be level with me for the game and the commentary. So you can do it that way. Or if you're ahead of me, please don't put any spoilers in because it does spoil it for the rest of them who don't have access to the game and want to listen to the commentary on this channel. So please abide by the rules. I will really appreciate that. Football Matt says, hello, Paul. Feel sorry for Isak. Yep. I have to say, look, I don't know what Isak has to do to get a start. Even if he wanted Callum in the side, we know that Isak can cut in on the left. Rest Miggy, put Gordon on the right, put Isak on the left if he's not going to play St. Maximin and go for it that way. But for some reason, there's just a block. Anders says the Cells probably our best chance for us to score. Well, yeah, he does get forward a lot. He does make sure he gets his head on set pieces. Paul says what makes it worse is that Trippier has been the captain nearly every game, helping control players around the ref, etc. Now with Lascelles, how does the dynamic work? Look, Trippier will still be the captain on the pitch. There's no doubt about that. He's levels above what Jamal Lascelles is. Lascelles is club captain, which means when he plays, he gets the bat, he gets the armband. But that doesn't mean that Trippier is not the captain on the pitch. And what you will probably see during the game is Kieran Trippier will be his normal self, just like he has been for weeks on end. Personally, I'd have put Burn at centre-back, Target at left-back. Dave says it's not negativity. Fans have been behind Eddie all the way, but have the right to question things as well. Exactly. When things are going well, yes, everybody gets praise. However, us fans have a right to question certain things. And look, if we get beat today and get beat in a way that we don't like, questions are going to be asked as to why he's kept a £60 million player on the bench again when he's by far more exciting at the moment than what Callum Wilson is. But that's not to say that come kick off, Callum Wilson won't go and get a couple of goals. People talk about Eddie Howe headhunting people will come out. You always get them. Look, there's a difference between criticising Eddie's decisions in a game to wanting him out the door. Now, if I think Eddie's got it wrong, I will criticise. However, it doesn't mean I want Eddie gone. There's a big, big difference there. And those people that are saying, oh, Eddie out, well, quite frankly, you're bloody barmy, to be quite honest with you. It's absolutely nuts. Roger says, Wilson, no offense, Callum, but too many chances to prove you're not beyond knackered. AJ says, I think we're best with Tripp, Botman, Byrne, and Target at the back. Feel sorry for Isak. Eddie's made a massive blunder in that team lineup. But look, he's obviously been playing with his team lineup all week, guys, in training. And he likes what he sees. And again, we're not privy to what goes on the training pitch. So they've been working on things that obviously we will not have seen. And we just have to wait and see how it goes because, sitting here watching the game, it's all we can do and just hope that Eddie and the lads have put the training in. He's worked on, how to nullify City in a way that, Brentford went there earlier on in the season and won. I think Wolves won there this season as well. And Wolves are having a terrible season. So, it's not in the realms of possibility that we can go there and win. We've got some very, very talented players on that pitch, let's not forget. If Wilson scores, then what? After all the negative opinions. Well, Chantel, exactly. I mean, that's what we're saying. I hope Wilson goes out and gets a couple of goals today. I'm a big Callum Wilson fan. What I want to see from him is properly roughing up those City centre-backs like we've seen Callum in the past, where he's right in the faces and giving them hell. I thought he would do that in the cup final last week. Unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. But it's a new dawn. It's a new day. The cup final's gone, and now Callum has an opportunity to really go at it. Pedro says, I don't know what Eddie Howe is thinking. Why is he not changing things up? I know Lascelles is in, but that's only due to injury. Miggy on the right is pointless. Strikers don't get a look in. For Callum Wilson, it must be frustrating sometimes when he sees Miggy get the ball in a really good position to cross. But of course, he's got no right foot. So, the ball then goes backwards. He turns back. Callum Wilson's then got to regroup and go again. We all know Callum thrives on an early ball into the box. He's very good at that and getting to the front post and getting his head on things. I look back to the Tottenham game at home last season, the day after the takeover. The game after the takeover. And you remember, we scored very early on by getting a quick cross in and Callum cutting across his man in the front post and scoring. So we can do it. There's no doubt about that. But it must be frustrating for a striker when the opportunity's there and he thinks, right, a cross is going to come in here. And it doesn't. And that's got to be a real frustration for somebody like Callum Wilson. However, like I say, this is a huge game for many, many different reasons, guys. Many, many different reasons. Just going through the team lineups now. What do you say? I mean, what do you say about City? They're just they're a very, 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 very talented side, and very good at scoring goals. They're very good at winning games. It will be a tough game for us today. That there is no doubt. But hopefully, we can get back to somewhat form like we've been in previous matches. Scotty B, thank you very much for your 199 super chat. He says, gutted for Maxi. Should have been Miggy out. I agree. I think Miggy should have been out, but he's not. And we have to now put our faith in what he's got on the pitch there. It's just the way it is, guys. It's just the way it is. So, guys, like I say, if you're ahead of me, just pause it when it comes to kickoff on the TV. Or, if you're level with me, fine. But please don't put any spoilers in the chat, guys, because you will be chucked out by the mods. We're not, not having anybody spoiled for anyone else, guys. We want to have a good watch along and hopefully see a good performance from the lads. So please don't put any spoilers in because we don't want to ruin it for anybody else that is watching the football because it's not very nice. Okay, so please no spoilers. Just pause it, and then I'll say, right, we're underway. Then you know that we're underway on my stream, and we can all watch it together. But if you're not, if you prefer to be ahead, just don't put it in the spoilers. Wait till I've said something in commentary regarding the incident, and then we can all talk about it together. Plenty Geordies there, as you'd expect. I think 3,000 of them there today as well. So, good following, and hopefully we'll get a good performance. Well, there's a strange thing. Manchester City fans with the camera phones out. Unbelievable. As Eddie Howe just shaking hands with Pep and Jason Tyndall there. Of course, he's been very complimentary in the past about Newcastle United. Has Pep Guardiola. As Newcastle now are just in a huddle along with Manchester City. So very close to kick off, guys. As I say, just pause it. If you've already kicked off, just wait till I get there and I say we're underway, and then we'll all watch it together. And hopefully watch a very good performance from Newcastle today. Man City break from their huddle. We've broke from ours. We are almost ready to go. It looks quite full at the Etihad, which makes a change. And of course, being called the Empty Had quite a lot. But, well, there is a few seats from the aerial view. There is a lot of seats actually empty still. So we're almost ready. It's going to be Haaland to kick off for Manchester City. The referee's coming to the side of the pitch for some reason. I think his whistle was knackered. Anyway, he comes back on. Very close to kick off. Here we go. Very close. Referee just doing his final counts. Let's get on with it. Let's get underway here. And we're off. So we are underway at the Etihad. Newcastle United taking on Manchester City. And immediately Callum Wilson presses Ederson high up. And Ederson forced to make a bit of a fluffy kick there. And Newcastle win a throw in. Excellent pressing by Callum Wilson early doors. And, of course, Anthony Gordon pressing really well as well. So that was good stuff. And Dan Burn will take the free kick now. Why do I say free kick? It's a throw-in. Right opposite the right level with the 18-yard line. So here we go. Dan Burn's long throw into the box. It comes. Lascelles goes up, doesn't get anywhere near it. Comes to Trippier. Nice little bit of play by Trippier. He's still got the ball. Nice little play, but he loses out. And now Manchester City break with Haaland. Plays it out to the left-hand side. And Jack Grealish running with the ball at pace here. He's got overlaps. He cuts back inside. Lascelles took a bit of a tumble in the box. Cross comes in. Gundogan's header is just over the bar. And Manchester City could have been ahead within the first minute of the game. And there is the threat straight away. Trippier lost the ball and Man City broke with pace. Played out by Haaland to Jack Grealish on the left-hand side. Grealish cuts inside and then plays it out to the left. It's a lovely floated ball in. And it's a good header by Gundogan, but an inch over the bar. Certainly, well, quite a poor header. He should have maybe done better, but it's just a couple of foot over the bar. That's what we got to be careful of as his Holy One, Nick Pope, launches it again up front. The ball comes down for Lascelles. He heads it away. Newcastle win it back now. Here's Miggy. First touch of the ball into Joe Linton. Joe Linton now. Good bit of play to hold on the ball. Callum Wilson now. Wilson, he's lost it. Tried to play it out to, I think, Sean Longstaff, but it was a poor touch by Wilson. I don't want to say that a lot during the game. I really don't. Anyway, here's Sven Botman. And Bruno all the way back to Nick Pope. Pope then goes long, looking for Callum Wilson. Wilson didn't really jump for the ball, tried to roll the defender there, but it's back to the goalkeeper from Nathan Ake, who I think is playing at left back today by the looks of things. And Edison's just kicked it out of play. He's had 2 touches of the ball, Edison, and very poor. Ake played it back to Edison there. I don't know where he thought he was going with this, but a very poor kick. And again, he's just kicked it straight out of play. But the throw-in's taken. Newcastle back on the halfway line now with Kieran Trippier. Tried to get past Nathan Ake, but blocked off there. As we're looking at Eddie Howe and Jason Tyndall. Tyndall with a smile on his face. I wonder what was the conversation there. But Man City definitely had the better chance in the first 3 minutes of this game. A Gundogan headed just over the bar, but it didn't go in. And Sven Botman has the ball now for Newcastle United. A lot of space. Plays it back to Jamal Lascelles. Lascelles brings it forward, goes long. It's a good ball over the top. It's a brilliant ball, actually, for Miggy. And now Miggy down the right-hand side. Plays it inside to Sean Longstaff. Longstaff tried to get a cross in, and it's blocked by Ake, and we win a corner. Good positive stuff by Newcastle coming forward so far, guys, I have to say. Excuse me. Got the snuzzles there, but never mind. It's a corner to Newcastle United. Great play by Lascelles. Lovely ball over the top. And Miggy did well to pull it back to Longstaff. Longstaff went for the first time ball in, but unfortunately it was blocked by Ake. In comes the corner, right at the back post. Lascelles jumps high. It's cleared away. It's bouncing around. In goes Miggy. And again, Man City clear the ball away. Chances at both ends early doors. Here's Grealish. And it comes off Bruno for a Manchester City goal kick. Good pressing again. But Lascelles, well, he did well there. That's what we want to see from corners. He got right above Grealish at the back post. And then it's a bit of a mad scramble. And eventually City managed to clear the ball. But look, that's positive for me going forward. Yes, we haven't made Edison make a save any time there, but, you know, we are pressing. And again, from the goal kick, Joe Linton getting right stuck in. De Bruyne loses the ball. Dan Burn plays it forward. Not the greatest ball in the world. Jimmy Jones, thank you for your $4.99 and $1.99 super chats. Really kind. Thank you so much. The ball bouncing around again. Manchester City have a throw in right by the corner flag here. Good early pressing from Newcastle. I have to say, I'm impressed. Really impressed with the early start that they've made. Of course, Man City had a chance with Gundogan, but then again, nothing came of it. And we're looking all right. But here come Man City now with Foden. Foden's taken out on their side there. Well, Man City break. It's a poor ball. I thought the referee might have called that back for a foul, but he didn't. Long ball played forward again, looking for Callum Wilson. He's got to try jumping there, Callum Wilson. He's trying to roll the defender every time, and it's not working. Foden again going against Dan Burn, but he shall not pass. Oh, brilliantly brought down by Anthony Gordon. Now Joe Linton, back to Gordon. Gordon, back to Dan Burn. And Newcastle will restart again with Sven Botman. Botman across to Lascelles. He's got to be quick. He's being pressed, but finds Bruno. Bruno turns. Just staggered a little bit on the ball there, but he managed to get it back to Nick Pope. Pope takes a big touch and then launches it upfield again, looking for Callum Wilson. He doesn't go for the header this time. He hasn't once jumped for the header. Not one. 3 or 4 times now in the first 6 minutes of this game. But he hasn't jumped. Grealish now into Gundogan. Manchester City starting from, midway through, halfway through the pitch. Here's Nathan Ake. Man City just looking around Kyle Walker. And they will start again. Out to the right-hand side. Foden. All the way back. Man City trying to build. We're pressing well. We're forcing Man City back at the moment, which is a good sign. Good pressing again from Anthony Gordon. Rodri has to go back and play it all the way out to the other side. And we are, Man City, again, Newcastle content to sit. Man City playing it around in the middle of the pitch, but they haven't got an outlet ball. We are staying disciplined. And I like it when we play like this because we're very hard to break down. Keith Longworth, thank you very much for your £20 super sticker, my man. That is very, very kind. Thank you so much. Remember, guys, hit that like button if you do enjoy the stream today. And, of course, if you're new to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button. I would very, very much appreciate it. On the way to 18,000 subscribers, guys. Here's Joe Linton down the left-hand side for the Toon. He's going up against Kyle Walker. Plays it in with his left foot, but it's intercepted. And Man City again try and play it out now. Gundogan. And here's Grealish now picking the ball up deep in his own half. He's got options with Kyle Walker on the right-hand side. He finds Kyle Walker. Oh, that's a terrible pass by Kyle Walker. And Wilson almost nipped in to intercept it. And, Man City, to be honest, in this first 10 minutes, the passing at the back has been really crazy. And they're not on it at the moment. But Newcastle, again, pressing with Wilson and Miggy. Good work from the Newcastle front men there. As Man City now bring it away. Out to the left to Nathan Ake. Ake now. Plays it forward to Gundogan. Gundogan turns. Rodri in support. Back to Gundogan. Gundogan just taking his time on the halfway line now. Again, Newcastle just staying compact and staying in the positions and forcing Man City to go back again. It's good stuff. And all the way back again to Edison. This is good stuff from Newcastle. Played out. I mean, they had that one chance in the first minute, Manchester City, and, you know, we've had the better of it since then. Here's Gundogan again for City, though. Kevin De Bruyne can't get there. Good tackle from Bruno. Lovely ball by Longstaff, taken out very late by Gundogan. I think that'll be a yellow card. What a ball from Bruno, and Anthony Gordon running into it. Oh, he just tried to hit it with his left, and Kyle Walker intercepted. What a great little ball that was from Bruno into, and now Joe Linton's gone down injured. That's not a good sign, but I think Anthony Gordon, he went to hit it with his left, and it just hit his right foot first. Otherwise, he would have got a shot in there. That's unfortunate. That is really unfortunate. Joe Linton's got a bit of a foot injury here, guys. I'm not sure how serious this is. Joe Willock's been sent to warm up for Newcastle. I'm not sure if Joe Linton will be continuing. I mean, we all know that Joe Linton likes to have a sit down after at a certain point in the game, but certainly not after 9 minutes. Anyway, Joe Linton's back on his feet, and he's heading off to the sidelines. So hopefully he will be able to continue, which is fantastic news for Newcastle. Lost my stream for a couple of seconds there, but here we go. Again, Man City just knocking it around. Kyle Walker flicks it on. Dan Burn intercepts. Now Joe Linton again, all the way back to Sven Botman. Botman takes his time, as he usually does, has a good look, see what's available. Joe Linton calls for it. Dan Burn now, up the line to Anthony Gordon. Gordon turns inside to Bruno. Bruno flicks it over to Joe Linton. He brings it down on his chest, and he does really well there and finds Sean Longstaff. Wasn't the greatest ball to Sean Longstaff. He tried to flick it on with his head, did Sean, and it didn't happen that way, unfortunately for us. Now De Bruyne, nice bit of skill. Haaland out to Gundogan now. Gundogan's got support from Ake, but he flicks it over looking for the run of Haaland, who just bossed Lascelles out the way there. And the cross comes in from De Bruyne, doesn't go anywhere. Gundogan, oh, he's taken down by Bruno, and that's going to be a free kick right outside the box for Manchester City. Newcastle don't like the decision, but it was a foul. Gundogan looking to hit it. Totally done Bruno there. Bruno comes sliding out, just catches Gundogan. I don't think Gundogan needed to go over as emphatically as he did, to be fair, but it was a foul. Farhad, thank you for your 7.29. Eddie will be responsible for the loss today, not the players. Look, we're doing all right. We're doing all right so far, to be fair. I'm certainly not going to sit here and criticize the guys because we've been doing really well. But Manchester City have a free kick now. This is very, very dangerous because obviously De Bruyne is over this, and we know what his free kick capabilities are like. Newcastle have men in the wall. Bruno is, of course, lying just behind the wall as well. So this is De Bruyne definitely going to take this. Newcastle have literally the whole team in the wall. De Bruyne high and wide. Very early in the game for De Bruyne just to warm up there. Magic Mo says, what minute you on? I'm coming up to 12 minutes now. 12 minutes gone in the game. Some people will be ahead. Some people will be behind. That's why we don't put any spoilers in, guys. Just enjoy it and try and stay with me for the commentary. Please do subscribe if you're new to the channel and you like what you see. Thank you very much. Nearly 850 watching. Thank you very much for your company. Long ball again from Nick Pope. Again, Callum Wilson doesn't jump. He just holds the defender. Manchester City win a free kick. Grealish there. Clashing with Kieran Trippier. Well, listen, to be honest, I'm quite happy with this first 15 minutes, guys. I mean, we're coming up to 13 minutes gone. You know, yes, Gundogan's had a chance, but we've pressed really well. We've had opportunities as well. And I like the way we're pressing. Gordon's looked very lively when he's had the ball as well. So, yeah, it's not too bad so far, guys, I have to say. It's back with Nick Pope now. He launches one long again. This time, Miggy's underneath it, but nobody challenging for the header. Trippier just brushes Grealish aside. And to throw in for Newcastle United just on the halfway line. As again, we're looking at Eddie Howe chomping down hard on his chewing gum at the minute, guys. But the ball is with Trippier. Trippier then goes back to Nick Pope. Pope launches it long again. This time just to the halfway line, where Longstaff was underneath it. Now Lascelles for Newcastle goes to Trippier, back to Lascelles, and he goes back to Nick Pope. Just keep it easy. That's all you have to do, Jamal. Just keep it easy. Wilson shrugged off the ball again there. He's not really winning the challenges, guys. I haven't seen him win one duel yet, which is slightly disappointing. His pressing's been good, but winning the ball hasn't really been great. Here's Gundogan breaking for Manchester City. Plays a rocket ball out to Grealish, who does really well to get round Bruno, but not round Kieran Trippier, and Lascelles clears. What we don't want is Man City to get a sustained bit of pressure and force us to run around chasing the ball for 40-odd minutes. That's not what we want to do when we've made such a good start here. Gundogan to Grealish. He was seeing plenty of the ball. Lucky enough for us, Foden on the other side hasn't. But he does now. Here's Phil Foden. He cuts inside. He's cut right inside of Dan Burn. He's gone all the way, and Phil Foden scores. Absolutely dreadful defending from Newcastle United. And Phil Foden has given Manchester City the lead. And that was awful defending, guys. He ran through about 5 Newcastle players. How on earth did he get through there? And questions need to seriously be asked there about the defending from Newcastle United, because that was absolute garbage. I have to say it. It was garbage defending. I don't know what they were doing there, but it was awful, guys. Gundogan here tries to play a ball in. He plays it out to Foden. There's no danger here. He's on the right-hand side. He cuts in. Dan Burn is left for dead. Bruno and Joe Linton don't get Gordon don't get challenges in. And somehow he gets a shot in. That is just weak defending from Newcastle United. And it's very rare we've said that this season. But very, very weak defending. In fact, it was deflected off Botman again. It's a deflection. It was Nick Pope diving to his right. It goes to his left. It's a deflected goal off the boot of Botman again, as it was in the cup final last week. But that doesn't matter. Manchester City are in front. We have an awful battle on our hands now. Sven Botman slid in, trying to block the shot. Nick Pope had already committed to his right. There was no way Nick Pope could do anything about that. But how the hell Phil Foden got through there to get a shot in? Questions need to seriously be asked there. Not many times do we accuse Newcastle United, but Dan Burn, I mean, Christ, he was just left for dead. Terrible. Anyway, the game is back underway, and it is Dan Burn now out to the left to Anthony Gordon. He cuts inside nicely. Good run by Miggy. Miggy, little touch onto Callum Wilson. That's better from Newcastle. Oh, chance! Longstaff! Oh, he didn't get the shot away in time. He seemed to take forever to get his shot in. Cross comes in from Trippier. Headed back from Wilson. And the danger is cleared from Manchester City. But why did Longstaff take so long to get his shot away? Still on again, though. Gordon, lovely little flick, but he gets it back. Plays it back to Dan Burn. Good response this from Newcastle after going behind. Lascelles to Longstaff, back to Bruno now. Again, looking down to this right-hand side, Sean Longstaff, who just seemed to take an age to bring that ball down. Great little flicking by Trippier. Cleared away again by Man City. And now Man City come back at us. Haaland going against Lascelles. Great tackle by Jamal Lascelles on Haaland. That was a superb tackle. And if anything, that goal has really just kicked Newcastle United into an extra gear. But if that had fell to anybody else but Longstaff, he would have got a shot away quicker there. It just wouldn't come down, I guess. But you've got to be quicker in them circumstances in the Premier League against Manchester City. It was a golden opportunity. And now De Bruyne in bags of space for City. Plays it out to Foden, who's going against Dan Burn. Burn blocks it. It goes out for a corner. And this game is ignited. Foden saying a handball. I don't think that was a handball in a million years, to be fair. But there again, you're just seeing Longstaff. It just wouldn't fall. And Ake did really well. But I think Longstaff should have got a shot away in before he actually did. But last-ditch defender from Nathan Ake and stopped the certain equaliser there. But a good response from Newcastle. But now we need to defend this corner. De Bruyne takes it right into the penalty area. Good play by Bruno to bring it down. Sloppy that from Newcastle United. Very sloppy, but we win a free kick. Rodri is the man penalised for a foul on Miggy there. And we get a little bit of a break. Botman very, very slow there to clear the ball and panicked a little bit, if I dare say. But we get away with that one. And Nick Pope is going to take the free kick for Newcastle United. So we're coming up to 20 minutes gone in this game, guys. And Man City lead by a goal to nil. Phil Foden with the goal. However, we have had a good response. I don't think we've played that badly in this game at all, actually. The first 20 minutes. Again, Wilson doesn't win his tussle. I don't know why he's not jumping for headers. But here's Joe Linton now. To Anthony Gordon. He plays it into Dan Burn. Back to Joe Linton. Back to Dan Burn. Burn turns. He's got to be forced back by Foden here. And plays it back to Botman, who goes all the way back to Nick Pope. I'm worried about Dan Burn on that left, guys. I have to say, Foden looks really... Foden's got the beating of him. He really has. As Kieran Trippier miscontrols the ball and goes out for a throw into Manchester City on the halfway line. But like I say, Foden definitely looks like he's got the beating of Dan Burn, and certainly did for that first goal. He stood off him far too bigger gap between the two players. And Foden just said, well, thanks very much if you're going to give us that much room. And then nobody was strong enough to knock him off the ball. Grealish now for Man City on the halfway line. Long ball out to the right. Finds Phil Foden again. Oh, he's done him again. He's done Dan Burn again with a nutmeg this time. Haaland. Oh, good defending by Botman, that. Little 1-2 with Gundogan. But Botman tried to hold on the ball. Haaland's all over him. Man City win the ball back with De Bruyne. It's poor again from Newcastle. De Bruyne's ball in, goes behind for a goal kick. And Newcastle get a breather again. But they've got to be quicker than that. Sven Botman, really slow, bringing the ball out, was tackled. But again, Phil Foden, absolutely brilliant. Brilliantly brings the ball down on the side of his foot, then just nutmegs Dan Burn and completely obliterates him. And again, Botman slow to bring the ball out, tackled by De Bruyne. But good work from Anthony Gordon, putting De Bruyne off, forcing him to kick it behind. Now Lascelles clears for Newcastle United up to the halfway line. Joe Linton is underneath it. Doesn't get any purchase on it. Bruno does, though. Callum Wilson now. Wilson goes down. No free kick. Played along again. And this is going to be Sven Botman. Botman turns. Got a bit of space and time. He's shut down by Haaland. Up to Bruno. Bruno, lovely little turn. Out to Joe Linton now on the left-hand side. Joe Linton. Back to Bruno. Bruno again, looking for options. Hasn't really got anything at the minute. Goes back to Dan Burn. And Dan Burn forced to go all the way back to Sven Botman. Botman now. Again, closed down by Haaland. It's time for Man City to do a bit of closing down themselves. Nick Pope goes long again looking for Callum Wilson, but it's a poor kick from Nick Pope. It's nowhere near Callum. And Man City just played all the way back to Edison. And this time there's no real press on him. And he just clips the ball over the top to Nathan Ake. Ake now over the halfway line for Manchester City. Leaves it for Grealish. Grealish cuts inside and wins a free kick. Fouled by Miggy. And the referee having a word with Miggy Almiron here. Yep. Bit of a nasty one, that by Miggy. Just putting his studs down the side of Grealish's leg there. But we kind of know why that's happening, guys. Yeah, all right, Grealish, you've won a free kick. There's no need to cry to the referee, you bellend. Anyway, Ake goes back. Manchester City start from the back. Long ball played towards Foden on the right-hand side again, but that time it is overhit. And Newcastle have a throw-in, which Dan Burn will take, and he goes back to Sven Botman. Botman now to Bruno. Bruno's got support from Nick Pope. Pope brings it down, plays a long ball out to the right-hand side to Trippier. Trippier brings it down, goes back to Lascelles. Lascelles has no time at all, and he's giving the ball straight to Gundogan. Back to Ake now, to De Bruyne. This is where Man City can get the engine going again. It's with Grealish inside to Ake. Ake back to De Bruyne. But again, Newcastle, in fairness, forcing Manchester City back. And now they're just playing it across the back four at the moment, Manchester City. Slowly bringing the ball over now with Ake. Ake out to Grealish. Grealish plays a quick ball into Haaland. Haaland back to Grealish. Again, the long legs of Haaland coming in handy there. Grealish floats the ball in. He was looking for Gundogan, but good defending by Jamal Lascelles. Cuts the ball away for a City throw. And again, the pressure is on us here. As Nathan Ake slowly trots over to take the throw in for Manchester City. Still 1-0 to City here at the Etihad with Phil Foden's goal. But we have looked decent going forward sometimes, Newcastle. We really have. And again, good pressing here. We've forced the ball all the way back to Edison. And he goes long now out to the left to Grealish. Beautiful play by Grealish down to De Bruyne. He had a good runner there from Gundogan. He didn't use him. Instead, he's gone to Foden on the right-hand side. Foden's got an overlap from Kyle Walker. Dangerous here for Newcastle United because Walker's got the pace. And it comes. Botman slipped when he cleared it, but managed to scoop it away. And now Joe Linton for Newcastle. Up to Callum Wilson. Wilson, well, he says no fouls as a referee as the both were pulling at each other's shirts. Again, nothing. It comes straight back when it's going to Wilson. Exactly the way it's been. De Bruyne for Manchester City now. Again, in no hurry at all. Ake now plays it to Grealish. Grealish goes all the way back. City just very, very patient. Again, not in a hurry to do anything. Of course, they've got the goal. And Edison will take his time getting rid of this one. Again, trying to pick out the perfect pass. He finds Kyle Walker. Walker up the line for Foden. Foden inside to Gundogan. Lovely bit of play of that by Foden. And Gundogan sets De Bruyne away. De Bruyne finds Grealish on the left-hand side. Now running to Kieran Trippier. Grealish cuts inside. And there's a Man City. Gundogan went down there, wanting a free kick. Fired into Haaland, but Botman stayed strong and clears the ball away for a Man City throw-in. I'm not sure what happened in the middle there. Gundogan seemed to be making a run. Went down. Certainly looked at the referee, but nothing given. And Botman managed to cope very well with Haaland there. Anyway, throw into Man City. And it goes backwards. So thank God for that. But Man City coming at us again. Here's Ake. And you know what? They are prepared to play the patient game, Manchester City. Again, Wilson pressing, but we just can't get the ball at the minute. Sophia says Wilson isn't even holding the ball up, let alone scoring. We may as well be playing with 10 men. Yeah, it's the same happening. Ball through for Haaland. Great defending by Lascelles, who has had a very good 25 minutes, I have to say, Jamal Lascelles, and credit to him. He's had to go against Haaland a couple of times. Good strength there by Jamal Lascelles, and he holds off Haaland, who, you know, he can't get frustrated. That's not a great pass by Bruno, though. It puts us under pressure. De Bruyne's got a chance to hit it, and a good block by Botman. Comes to Joe Linton. He plays it out to Miggy. Miggy cuts inside. He's running into trouble, Miggy. Where the hell were you going there, sunshine? Loses the ball to, I think it's Grealish, who's come back over that other side. No, it was Foden, maybe. Now Nathan Ake for City. He turns. He finds Gundogan. Gundogan inside to De Bruyne. Finds Rodri. Manchester City patiently building again. Newcastle do have men behind the ball. Ake. Gundogan. Again, they have to play it back. This could be back at Edison, but good turn that by Rodri. Grealish in support on the left-hand side. Trippier to mark him. He goes back to Rodri. Daniel says something happened to the sub-counter. Am I just tipsy? 17,642. I don't know where it was at. I think it was 636 when earlier on. So I'm not sure. I think it's gone up. So it seems to be fine. Anyway, Lascelles on the ball now. Plays it to Botman. Botman goes wide to Dan Burn. Burn down the line to Anthony Gordon. Inside to Bruno. That's good football. Kieran Trippier in bags of space on the right-hand side. And that's exactly where Bruno's found him. Trippier's ball in is terrible and cleared away by Manchester City. Again, the final ball not there. Anthony Gordon doesn't win the ball, and Manchester City set away now with De Bruyne. He's got Haaland and Foden up with him. He looks for Foden. Foden now going against Dan Burn. Foden he cut inside Dan Burn to try and get a shot away. Newcastle really do look at 6s and 7s sometimes at the back, but they're doing the job. They're getting it away as Dan Burn does Phil Foden. Newcastle United have an injury to Bruno here. And he's holding that very same ankle that he injured last week. That is not a good sign. Jock says, yes, it's gone up, Paul. Thank you for all the new subscribers, guys. Really appreciate that. Keep that ticker going up, guys. Heading towards 18,000. Thank you so much. And, of course, don't forget to hit that like button. This is bad when Bruno's holding that same ankle that he injured, of course, in the cup final last week. Trippier's been terrible with his balls in. Yeah, he has. Again, it just seems to be dying. It seems to be dying when we get in that final third. We don't tolerate how out propaganda on the channel. Any further comments? Yeah, how out? Bloody. Toon Rob says, this is painful to watch, Paul. Yeah, look, we started brightly. We've let Man City score. Man City do look dangerous. But I have to still say that we do look okay going forward. There's definitely opportunities there. Sean Longstaff had a really good opportunity. Trippier's ball should have been better there. It wasn't. And, the rest is history. But that's just the way it is at the minute, guys. We need something to happen. We need something to come off somebody's arse or something like that. Just to get us a bit of confidence, a bit of motivation going. We're back underway with Dan Burn now down the left-hand side. Burn plays a long ball towards Callum Wilson. Ake completely out-jumps him easy. Look, it's not sticking with Callum Wilson. It's coming back every single time, guys. It really is. There's no hold-up at all. Rodri has the ball, plays it out to Ake. Miggy's been invisible as well in this game, to be fair. I mean, he's made the foul, the terrible foul on Grealish, and then that's all we've seen of Miggy as well. Long ball. De Bruyne brings it down, flicks it into Rodri. Great play that by De Bruyne. And now Gundogan sets Man City away again. Haaland making a run. He's got Grealish out to his left. Here's Grealish into the box now, going against Trippier. Grealish pulls it back for Rodri. Rodri takes his time. Gives it back to Grealish. Grealish back to Rodri. Rodri flicks it towards Foden at the back post, but Dan Burn is there, and it comes to Anthony Gordon. Gordon turns back onto his right foot, gives it to Dan Burn, who then plays it to Botman, who's still in his own box, by the way. But now he floats the ball up towards Callum Wilson. And again, Wilson trying to get in there, but it's just not happening. I mean, I thought that was a throw-in. And now Akanji and Wilson decide to have a little bit of a chat. And in comes Guardiola to say well done to Akanji for standing his ground. But obviously didn't want anything to happen there. But every time the ball is played... Look, I've made my point about Callum Wilson. He's bang out of form. He shouldn't be playing. We all know that. But, it is what it is, as I keep saying. We have to keep believing with it. Sometime things it is going to change. Because if we don't, then what is the point, guys? What is the point? Dan Burn with a free kick a throw-in right on the halfway line here. Just going to have to refresh this stream because it's just keep going off again. Unamused. Grealish now on the left for Manchester City. Fahad, thank you very much for 17.99. Says Paul, how can you defend Eddie when we can't score? Two of our best attackers not on the pitch. ASM and Isak, this is a joke. Well, yeah, look, it's everybody's opinion. Absolutely, and I agree with that. I don't understand why Isak and ASM aren't playing. I've been very critical of ASM in the past, but he did enough for me last Sunday to be in the starting lineup today. Miggy, however, didn't. Neither did Wilson, and they're both playing, and both have been absolutely irrelevant in this first half so far. After the first half an hour, it's been really poor. Anyway, we have a free kick just slightly over the halfway line here, and Kieran Trippier is going to send this in. Looking again for the big men up front for Newcastle United. Edison's come way off his line, and a massive punch by Edison. He's took his Manchester City defender out. Got up very quickly, though. Edison's come back out again. He's lost the ball. Was there a slight pull on Lascelles there? Edison claims he was fouled. Never in a blue moon. Joe Linton now Oh, man, shoot the ball, Joe. You're 20 yards out. Pull the bloody trigger, man. Again, we're not shooting the ball. And now Man City come down the other end with De Bruyne. In comes the cross. Lascelles back there to clear it again. Wilson now. Little touch on two. Miggy. Miggy into Joe Linton. Joe Linton's got 4 Man City players around him. And he's lost the ball. There's not a foul there. You're just being out-muscled. Come on. Stop twisting and get on. You know, if the referee doesn't blow his whistle, just keep going. I mean, Joe Linton tried to play for a free kick there rather than shooting. He knew he'd lost the position. And then again, at the other end, he goes down wanting a free kick. It's never a free kick. He's just out-muscled. Stop bloody twisting and get on with it. Kyle Walker now for Manchester City. Long diagonal ball across to De Bruyne on the left. It's a brilliant ball. De Bruyne floated in first time. Haaland! It's just wide. Big opportunity for Manchester City. Brilliant ball in again from Kevin De Bruyne, as you'd expect. And Haaland, well, his eyes would have lit up as that ball was coming across. Going against Sven Botman, he should have done better, really, Haaland there. He really should have. He'd be disappointed that he didn't put that in the back of the net. Slightly put off by Sven Botman there. But an opportunity for 2-0. I mean, you know what? I don't know why we're not shooting the ball. I really don't. I find it extraordinary that even when we're 20 yards out, we haven't got... That was a push by Grealish, surely. Grealish doesn't like the decision, which he probably wouldn't, but it was definitely a foul by Grealish there. I mean, when you're dueling like that and you're 20 yards out, you've got an opportunity, you've got a gap there to shoot, and you don't. You just fairy fart it around and lose it, and then go down wanting a free kick. It's not going to happen. It's really not. 6 attempts to 1 and 1 shot on target in the whole game, and that was, of course, the goal. Anyway, we have a free kick now, floated in. Ake gets above Lascelles, does really well to get ahead on it, but we win the ball back. Now Anthony Gordon into Joe Linton. Joe Linton across to Bruno. Bruno across to Botman. Now Botman's got a lot of time here, just over the halfway line, looking for the options. Finds Joe Linton. Joe Linton got a bit of space to bring the ball forward, finds Anthony Gordon. Gordon cuts into Bruno. And then Gordon goes back inside. Rolled down to Dan Burn now. Dan Burn cuts in. Nice bit of play that by the left back for Newcastle United. But why didn't he go forward? He's gone backwards. Anyway, Joe Linton plays it across again to Sven Botman. As Lascelles had stayed up a little bit longer there. Thought he might get an opportunity. Here is Lascelles into Longstaff. Back to Lascelles. Into Bruno. Bruno. Good bit of possession this by Newcastle United. Out to Anthony Gordon now on the left. Gordon cuts inside now. Gordon. Trippier's in a lot of space on the right-hand side. And that is the ball that Longstaff saw. Great, but what is Wilson doing? Oh, what a chance for Callum Wilson. And he completely miskicks the ball. And that will not help his cause at all. We're still on the attack here. Bruno flicks it across to Longstaff. Longstaff across to Trippier. Oh, my God. Longstaff in space in the box. Into Bruno, trying to just shoot the ball. And now De Bruyne brings it away from Manchester City. Finds Haaland. Good defending by Botman, though. And Newcastle back on the attack. Guys, I don't know how Callum Wilson missed that. That is just a swift volley into the back of the net. And it kind of hit the bottom of his studs, man. No. Wilson again goes down. No free kick, says the referee. Again, Wilson down, injured. Please stay off. Here come Manchester City with Gundogan. De Bruyne now. De Bruyne tries to float the ball in. You can see what he's doing, looking for Haaland. But Nick Pope was very, very quickly off his line to gather that. Callum Wilson holding the back of his left calf. I'm sorry, but this is a huge miss. Brilliant ball by Longstaff. Trippier's onside. Knocks it straight across. Callum Wilson. I mean, that is bread and butter, guys. That is an absolute bread and butter opportunity. It bounces nice for him. He's just got to swing his boot and put it in the net. What is going on? And here come Manchester City again. Good run by Foden, but De Bruyne doesn't use him. He goes back to Rodri. Rodri out to Nathan Ake. Manchester City patiently building again now on the halfway line. Grealish now going up against Trippier again. Pulls it back to Ake. Inside to Rodri. He's got Bruno for company. Again, plays it back to Akanji now for Manchester City. Brings it over the line. Now, Kyle Walker inside. Brilliant ball. That to Phil Foden. Foden down for Haaland. Haaland falls over but still has the ball. De Bruyne whips a cross in. Cleared away by Trippier. Only as far as De Bruyne again. He goes back to Kyle Walker. It's not the best ball. And Kyle Walker had to go back for that. I'll tell you what, it's incredible stuff, this. It really is. I mean, technically, we really should be 1-1. I don't know why we're not at 1-1 here. Very disappointing. And again, my stream seems to have frozen. Ugh. Honestly. If I can get... This is really frustrating. I do apologize for this, guys. I mean, look, the lack of shooting, I mean, it has to, at some point, become a real concern. You know, Callum Wilson's opportunity there was as big as you're ever going to get. It really was. As big as you're ever going to get. And unfortunately, he just completely fluffed it. I mean, completely fluffed it is the word as well. It was dreadful. I just need to put my... I'll be back with you in a second, guys. I do apologize. We will be back in a moment. Be nice to get a proper decent internet connection, you know. I do apologize for this. My internet's playing up. It's all going tits up here. I hope I'm not frozen anymore. I am very much trying to get this solution here because we're in a bit of a pickle. Right. Okay. So give me a second, guys, and I'll hopefully get this back on very, very shortly. Very frustrated. I'm really frustrated, guys, to be honest. Really, really frustrated with this first half. I'm frustrated with everything at the moment. Honestly, how come, you know, people can get so fast internet? And we get absolute bollocks, man. Honestly. Right. Thank you. Almost there, guys. If you guys could just keep me updated in the chat, because while I wait for this stupid machine. Oh, we're back. We're back, guys. We're back. Here we go. And it's Miggy on the right-hand side. Knocks it down to Trippier. Trippier now cuts inside. Looking for... He's got Bruno in support. Finds Bruno. A couple of minutes now before half-time, guys. It is still Manchester City leading the game. Out now to Anthony Gordon. Gordon. Again, no support. He's had to play it all the way back to Botman again, who goes across to Lascelles. Lascelles up now to Longstaff. Longstaff turns on the halfway line. Miggy comes short, giving him an option. Almiron now out to Kieran Trippier. Trippier goes inside for Callum Wilson. Wilson now. Wilson holds onto the ball. That's good to see. Out to Miggy. Miggy's got Wilson again. Wilson flicks the ball in for Longstaff. Again, we're just trying to find the perfect goal, and it's... Oh, man. Lascelles and Grealish tussling, and Newcastle... Well, I think it's a Man City throw in the end, but there was a huge tussle going on. But Lascelles has done all right, guys. Lascelles has been really strong when he's needed to be. He's battling for the ball. And I think he's done okay. I really do. Certainly hasn't been as bad as a few players on the pitch. Anyway, 45 minutes are up. We're just waiting to see how much added time the referee is going to play. And he's playing an additional 2 minutes. Anyway, Man City will probably just play this 2 minutes out, as we know they can. It's with Edison at the minute, and he plays it wide. Again, Man City just trying to play it out from the back, nice and calmly. And Miggy doing the pressing here. That's better from Newcastle. Don't let them play out. Get into them. Force them wide. That's better. Ake now on the left-hand side. Plays the ball up the line looking for Grealish. Grealish has lost it. That's good pressing by Newcastle. Wilson inside now to Bruno. Bruno inside to Gordon. Gordon back to Joe Linton. Can Newcastle find a way through before half-time? Good play by Anthony Gordon. Back again onto his right foot into Bruno. Bruno sees the run of Miggy at the back post. Almiron's shot is dreadful. And he was offside anyway. Yeah, I think he was about 6 yards offside there, guys. And there's only a minute left now of additional time. But one thing I've noticed, Anthony Gordon, again, he's cutting back on his right foot as well. I don't get it, guys. I mean, we're just not getting balls into the box because these inverted wingers, you know, just try switching it. Even for half an hour, just try switching it and see what happens. But yeah, you're right, Tom. It's saying something when Lascelles has been our best player today. He's had a very good first half. Handball by Grealish, and then he takes the ball away. How is that not a booking? Pushed away by Almiron. It looks like Kieran Trippier is going to take this free kick on the halfway line. He's going to go long again, seeing if Newcastle can grab a goal before the whistle blows for the end of the first half. In comes the ball, flicked on, and Edison has it, and that is going to do it for the first half. So there it is. First half ends, and Manchester City in complete control of this game at the moment. It is 1-0. Look... As annoying as it may be, guys, it is the scoreline. We could have been in a very different position had we wanted to, but unfortunately, that hasn't been the case. You know, Man City have just done what they've needed to do for the rest of the half. Bear with me a moment. I'm just sending Alex the invite to come on. I'll just send that to Alex. And in the meantime, we are joined by Billy Bob. Good evening, good afternoon, Billy.
Afternoon.
Not great, eh? What's your thoughts?
I don't think we've been that bad, to be fair. I think there's been a couple of opportunities that we should have took advantage of. Longstaff probably should have scored. Wilson certainly should have. Defensively, we've looked okay. I think Lascelles has been very good, actually. I think Lascelles has looked very good in the middle. The goal, I'm loath to blame Byrne for it, but the lack of effort from Gordon, he got back and then stopped, which was ridiculous. I've been disappointed with Gordon, actually. And Almiron's been a peripheral figure. He's been absolutely awful.
Yeah.
Referee has not been great either. I think he's missed 4 or 5 pushes from Man City players. Blatant pushes as well. So, all in all, 1-0 probably deserved for Man City, but we're still in the game, and I think we can get something out of this game, honestly.
Yeah. Fahad, thank you for your $36.99. He says Eddie needs to change or we need a new manager. Oh, dear me. It's not that bad, mate. He says, we don't play our best team and expect different results. It's not even about tactics. The selection is so poor, so predictable and sad. We have to question, obviously, Callum Wilson as Stato joins us. The inclusion of Callum Wilson was a surprise for me, and he's been awful, quite frankly. He's been awful.
He's looked stronger. He's done more pressing, but where he needed most in the box, he's looked absolutely appalling, and he should have scored, absolutely no doubt about it. I think his all-round game's much better than it was last week's, but he's actually got chances.
Billy, I really think you're being kind.
I think he's looked stronger. He's pressed. He's looked more physical. However,
I think he's won. He's won about 1 or 2 duels out of about 10. I haven't been impressed.
That's 2 more than he won last week for starters.
Well, yeah, but then the chance. I mean, it's not like he was. Alex, it's not like he was getting blocked there. He should have just smashed that in the net.
Yeah, it wasn't an outrageously difficult chance for somebody of Callum Wilson's quality. Again, I always say the same thing. I don't necessarily expect you to score those chances, but I expect you to at least get them on target and work the goalkeeper and maybe create a rebound or something of that nature. And if it's not even going on target, then there's nothing nice to be said. And Billy, I think you're being very generous. I think he's had probably his worst half in a black and white shirt. I thought that was abysmal. Not even close to being good enough. He hasn't won anything. There was one okay moment on the 45th minute where he did a 1-2 on the right wing. Yeah, it's the only thing I've seen him do. I wanted him hooked 25 minutes. I'm done. He needs to sit out for a month. He's not.
Why is Isak not playing? What is this? Why do you think, Billy? Why is Isak not playing, mate?
Honestly, don't know. I really don't know. I mean, he should be playing. I just don't get it. It's got to be the physical side of it. It must be. It can't be anything else.
Yeah,
can't be anything else.
Scotty B, thank you for your $1.99 super chat. Miggy and Wilson and Burnoff. And Jamal has been okay. I've been really impressed with Jamal Lascelles, actually. He's been very strong on the ball. He's held Haaland up a few times when they tried to play it through to him. I'm generally not worried about the defense. It's I think we've defended, and sometimes it's been scruffy defending, but it's what's needed to be done, and we've done it very well. I do just, however, worry a little bit about Dan Burn with Foden, but it's going forward. Nobody wants to pull the bloody trigger. Coach Austin, thank you for your $4.99 super chat. He says, at the moment, Callum Wilson couldn't finish a Happy Meal in McDonald's. I mean, Alex, Joe Linton had an opportunity to shoot, and then he wants to take another man on, and then he goes down looking for a free kick.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of that. It's been the same in the last 4 or 5 weeks where there is a slightly lower value opportunity that they could take early, and they will push it as far as they can, taking an extra touch, 2 or 3 touches, or an additional pass to try and make it a higher value opportunity. And they're just not, they're getting blocked last minute. And well done for being skillful enough to get that high value opportunity, but it's just not. Sometimes you just need to mix it up and throw in some scattergun shots and just get the confidence up, just get a good feel for it going. I feel like there just needs to be a little bit of a blend because it's just, and as for Lascelles, I agree he's having a good game, but he does restrict the way we play. There's a lot more hoofing this game, especially when Wilson's not very good at holding the ball up. Well, he's just not anymore. So it's systemic of having, Pope, Lascelles, Burn just booting it. And we're really relying on Trippier, Botman, and Bruno. The best we've looked in this half is been when we've got a nice spell of possession for 2 or 3 minutes. We build it up, we get a good ball in, and that's because the technical players are taking over. And then when it goes back to the non-technical players, it's just getting hoofed, and we're getting transition counter-attacked, and it's just and it's all over the place. It's a mishmash of styles, and it's peculiar at the moment. It's just weird.
Billy, you mentioned Anthony Gordon there before. I've seen a couple of comments saying that they've been impressed with him, but he's doing the same as what Miggy is. He's getting the ball, he's cutting in, and Manchester City reading it all the time. We're not getting anyone to the byline, are we?
He tried on the outside once, and his right foot got in the way and kicked it out for a corner, for a goal kick. Sorry, same as what Max did last week. I was more disappointed with him actually on the goal because he did get back and then stopped, and he left Foden with a albeit deflected shot into the net. I don't really blame Burn for that.
There was 3 or 4 players could have tried at least to knock Foden off of the ball. I don't know how he got through that amount of players. To be fair, it was disappointing, Alex.
I do blame Burn for the initial move because there was 3 times in the first half an hour where he wasn't reading the switch at all. He was so far inside, just leaving Foden in acres of space, and then he lets Foden get up to speed. He's never going to get the ball ever. And then it was after about 40 minutes, there was an additional switch, and Burn was obviously switched onto it because he'd been told or he just knew himself. But it took him sort of 40 minutes to figure out that was really dangerous. But we're a goal down now, so he needed to be switched onto that much earlier. And yeah, maybe Gordon could have done more. Am I going to whinge at Gordon for that? He's a 22-year-old winger. If running into the box at Foden, he doesn't want to give a penalty away. Yeah, it would be nice if he wins that, but I'm not going to crucify him for it, because if he gave a penalty away, we'd all crucify him. So it's a tough one. I'd prefer Burn
he
just was in a better place.
He didn't put a challenge in at all. It got back level with him and then stopped. Just stopped.
Yeah, well, that's not great. But if Burn was in a better position initially, it would have given everyone half a second extra time to get set, block the running lane. He just ran straight through. It's just about defensive shape. I don't think Target gives Foden that much time. He might not make the tackle, but he slows it down enough that we get shape, and that's the key.
I agree with that.
We've got a £5 super chat in from Caseball UK. Thank you very much for that. Change formation, Isak alongside Wilson. Hate inverted wingers, ASM and Wilson on ASAP. Well, I think he means Isak on ASAP. Billy, are you worried about... Sorry, Alex.
I think Gordon and Miggy would be fine in the way they're playing if they had Isak, because they would have a guy who will do some link-up dribbly stuff with them, and it would make their life a bit easier. I just don't think that works with Callum Wilson at the moment because he's lost his physicality, his pace, and his link-up play. So I don't think that's a problem necessarily. I don't think either of them have been too bad. They need somebody to play with. They just don't have that person.
Yeah. Billy, are you worried about Bruno? Because he's gone down once holding that ankle. He looked a bit like he was limping there going off. Do you think he'd be out for the second half?
I would hope so. Obviously, they don't want to risk any further injury, but I would think so. What the biggest concern for me is today is hearing that Cher's out with a slight concussion. Yeah. So what was it? Last Sunday? What was it? To me, that's disgusting.
Yeah, he should have been taken off. And we spoke about it. We spoke about this, didn't we? And we said that he should not have been on that pitch because when he did come back on,
we've had it confirmed today that he was concussed last Sunday.
Well, it's confirmed that's why we've lost the final.
Yeah,
exactly. I think it's outrageously disgusting. Outrageous.
That does need addressing. Of course, we will bring that up in the review show. Mark Mullins, thank you very much for your £10 super chat. He says, for me, Callum Wilson is useless and done. And as for shooting the boys, you need to watch the women's national team. They shoot on sight, not tippy-tappy and try to get in the 6-yard box. Yeah,
he's not the only one. Longstaff did it as well.
I can't believe how long it took Longstaff to pull the bloody trigger. Just incredible. And it just seems like we're trying to score the perfect bloody goal all the time. It is really, really frustrating. And as good as we've been this season, it is frustrating trying to watch them tippy-tappy into the back of the net. It's annoying more than anything else.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, where do you see us getting back in this game, Alex? Do we have to make changes?
I think there's a minimum of one. I think Wilson's got to come off. I think Miggy and Gordon can still do stuff.
Yeah,
I would like to see Maxi, but we don't need Maxi necessarily. We could do it with different wingers. I think the obvious one is Wilson off, Isak on. That's got to happen. I think we can score without making too many more changes. Obviously, we've got the benefit of also now having Maxi and Willock to come on and maybe make a difference. Hopefully, Willock will be a little bit fitter than he was the other day because he looked very poor when he came on in the final. I don't really blame him for that. He just looked injured, which is not his fault. But I think the main one is Isak needs to come on at halftime. We're trailing. Wilson's looked poor. If there's no, what reason is there to keep Wilson on now, other than Isak?
Well, there isn't, and a few people are saying, for Callum Wilson, you're getting into the situation where he's not playing very well yet. He's still being picked. Where is the competition for places, and where is that ruthlessness saying, right, you're not playing well, you don't play? It is really frustrating.
Well, he's had credit in the bank for the last 3, 4, 5 weeks. Now I think he's spent that additional credit. Now he needs to get dropped. It's been too long now.
And incidentally, I'm not saying Wilson's had a good game. Far from it, but he's looked better than he did last Sunday.
No, that's all right, Billy. I mean, everybody has an opinion, and that's fine. Last Sunday, to be honest. Fahad, thank you. Go on, Billy.
We have got a chance to get back in this game because we're getting Trippier in beyond the back of Ake 2 or 3 times this half. We can benefit from that if we can keep doing that. I'm not sure what we know, but Ake's no left back.
The last couple of times he's done it, though, the crosses have been really poor for Trippier, haven't they? They haven't given anybody a chance to get on the end of them. Fahad did put a super chat in there, but
I've got it here if you want.
Oh, you got
it. Jump to read it?
Yes, please, mate.
Mark, no, it's not Fahad, so that's Mark Mullins. Sorry. It's gone. I'll find it. Go on, keep going.
I was trying to find it as well because there it is. Nothing will change. Eddie will sub at 65 minutes. ASM Gordon, Murphy for Miggy, Wilson for Isak, as predicted. Even Guardiola will know this. Right, well, the players are coming back out. It certainly doesn't look like we've made any changes at halftime, guys, I have to say. Looks like the same 11. But we'll catch you guys at full time.
Indeed.
All right, see you soon, buddies. See you so then, that was the thoughts on that first half from Alex and Billy. A little bit of mixed opinions there regarding certain players. But there we go. Now, actually, Joe Willock and ASM's gone back down the tunnel. I don't know why he hasn't made changes. I mean, this is the thing. I mean, he just takes too long, to be honest. He takes too long to make changes sometimes. I mean, I know Isak came on for the second half last week, but it was forced by injuries and stuff. And this would just, as Manchester City come back on the pitch, it's just not good enough. Again, we're just piss poor in front of goal. And you know, when you piss poor in front of goal, sometimes you get away with it with a couple of lucky goals, but then you're going against Manchester City. Doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. But anyway, we're about to get the second half underway. And it will be Newcastle to get us underway with Sean Longstaff. So again, no spoilers, please. Just wait till I've said it in the commentary as we are underway for the second half here at the Etihad. Newcastle United trailing by 1-0 to Manchester City as Bruno immediately looks for the runner Callum Wilson and Edison off his line really quickly to claim that. I mean, I don't know what Eddie Howe might have said in the dressing room to change how things are going for this 11, because you can't really change anything when a player's so badly out of form. But listen, Callum just needs something to go in as in off his arse or anything like that just to get his confidence back. As we have a free kick now, deep, halfway into Manchester City's half. Kieran Trippier once again going to float this in. He's getting some instructions from Jason Tyndall there. He's looking for Longstaff to come short. Why? We've got big men up there. Play it in. So Trippier whips the ball in. It's towards the back post, headed away by City. Comes to Joe Linton. He plays it down for Longstaff. Longstaff across to Kieran Trippier. Trippier sees the run of Miggy. It's an awful ball. It's never going to find Miggy there. And Man City win it back now with Haaland. Haaland plays it out to Grealish on the left-hand side. Grealish cuts back. He's got Rodri in support. Good play that from Jack Grealish. Finds a bit of space for his Manchester City teammate. De Bruyne back to Nathan Ake, who is still at left back. We know isn't his proper position, but he's done all right there today. He is Foden. Kyle Walker, who's had quite a quiet game, Kyle Walker. Gundogan now. Gundogan finds Rodri. He's got Ake in support. Man City looking to get a second goal and try and kill this game off early in this second half. Grealish. Ake. Moving forward. Rodri about 40 yards out. Rodri clips it across to Foden. Kyle Walker in an offside position. Foden plays a lovely ball out to the left to Jack Grealish now. Going against Kieran Trippier. Grealish cuts it back to De Bruyne. De Bruyne gets it back on his left foot. Rolls it back to Ake. Ake back into Grealish again, who has a run at Trippier and goes down. Nothing given. Was that a dive by Jack Grealish? Referee thought so. And nothing is given. But Man City retain the ball here with Rodri. I'm not so sure that was a foul. Grealish knew exactly what he wanted to do. We've seen that many, many times from Jack Grealish. And if it was a dive, then he should be booked, quite frankly. But here's Gundogan now in a bit of space for Man City. Rolls it into Rodri. Rodri just knocks it back now, just keeps a hold of it. Plays it to Akanji. Now forward to De Bruyne, to Ake. Good build-up again, this by Manchester City. Grealish again going against Trippier. Back to Ake. Good bit of play by Miggy to nick the ball away from him. Almiron now turns back and gives it to Kieran Trippier. Trippier launches the ball forward. Took a slight deflection there. Man City win the ball back, but it's with Nick Pope now, who quickly throws it out to Dan Burn across on the left-hand side. Dan Burn now all the way back to Sven Botman. Botman looking for that outlet. Swings it diagonally out to Kieran Trippier on the right-hand side. Oh, it's a bad touch by Trippier again. But he got away with it because it was a terrible ball by Rodri. And now Bruno to win the ball back for Newcastle United. Bruno plays it out to the left to Anthony Gordon now. Gordon to have a run at some Manchester City players here. Clips it into Callum Wilson. Wilson not there, though. I can't get there ahead of Akanji, who clears the ball again. Oh, that's awful from Botman. I don't know who he was trying to give the ball there to, but it's gone straight to Phil Foden. And Manchester City coming at us again. Rodri for the team from the Etihad, played all the way back to Bruyne, knocks it back. And now Akanji for Manchester City, taking the time, looking for the next build-up. Rodri in the centre circle, plays it left. Risky ball that, and Longstaff should have run that. De Bruyne gets the ball, and De Bruyne now running at the Newcastle defence and then plays a disgraceful ball for Grealish. That is very unlike Kevin De Bruyne, and it goes out of play for a Newcastle goal kick. Just looking at the Jack Grealish one again. I mean, not for me. Not for me. Grealish knew what he was doing there. Trippier does stick a leg out, and Trippier's done that quite a few times this season, to be fair. But I don't think there was enough in it. A lot of disgruntled people in the chat saying, how the hell is Callum Wilson still on the pitch? Well, Eddie's a one-trick pony, says Fahad. You know what? He needs a plan B. He needs to show that he's got a plan B. He's got the players available today to mix the formation up a little bit, but whether he does or not, we'll see later on in the half if it remains 1-0. As the ball is played all the way back now to Edison. And he plays it out to Nathan Ake, back to Edison. Tom says subbing someone at half-time is a drastic move, and Howe probably thinks it's this. Look, I'm sorry, but it's not disrespectful. If you're not playing well, you shouldn't be on the pitch. And how long do we put up with Callum Wilson's form? I mean, Foden back to Kyle Walker now, into Rodri, who brings the ball forward for Manchester City, plays it left to Ake. And then it's back again to Rodri, back to Ake. Ake, good closing down that by Sean Longstaff. Gets a round of applause there from Eddie Howe. Malcolm says, does he have a plan B, though? Well, we're yet to find out, aren't we, guys, to be honest? I think this is the kind of game where we'll find out if he does have a plan B. But at the minute, I've seen nothing to say that he has. Unless he, changes something for the better. It's all right, maybe going, changing like for like, but is that going to really do any good? I'm not so sure. I'm really not. Anyway, Newcastle have a throw in here just over the halfway line, and Trippier takes it quickly to Lascelles, who will go across to Botman. Botman now being closed down very quickly, just plays it out to the left to Dan Burn, into Joe Linton now. Joe Linton, he's got Gundogan all over him. Does well there and finds Jamal Lascelles, brings the ball down. Lascelles looks long. It's a good ball, that into Wilson. Wilson controls it and gives it to Bruno. Bruno now plays it out to Kieran Trippier on the right-hand side. Trippier goes over the top looking for the run of Miggy. It's cleared by Nathan Ake again. It just looks like that ball over the top again. They're looking for that ball over the right. On the right-hand side and to play it over the full-back, and it's not happening. It's not happening. Anyway, Trippier's throw in to Miggy. Miggy goes back to the halfway line and finds Sven Botman. Botman plays an absolute terrible ball, and that's a foul by Joe Linton. You'll probably get a booking for that, and Manchester City are on the break now. Foden, again, just looking for that outlet ball. He finds Jack Grealish. Grealish cuts inside, curls one just over the bar. But there's the difference, and I think Joe Linton's actually received another booking. It was it was nasty, actually. It was a terrible tackle, to be honest, and he deserved a yellow card for that. But there's the difference, guys. Grealish gets like a couple of yards of space. He sees a sight on goal, and Joe Linton is now banned for 2 games, so he will miss Wolves and Forest. I mean, we've offered nothing so far in this second half, attacking-wise, guys. We really haven't. Nothing. As Edison plays a long ball out to the left-hand side again, but he's kicked it straight out of play. I suppose when you play it out as much as Edison, you're going to kick it out a few times, but his kicking's been quite poor in this game. It hasn't been up to his normal standard, that's a certainty. As we have Lascelles now midway through the Newcastle United half. He launches a ball out to the right-hand side to find Almiron. It was a good ball, actually, by Lascelles. It set Almiron away, and we've won a corner. Good work that by Miggy. He almost got round Nathan Ake there, but Ake stuck with him and managed to clear the ball for a corner to Newcastle United. Are we actually going to make Jordan? It is a 2-game ban that Joe Linton gets, matey. It's been confirmed on the TV as well. It is a 2-game ban. So Trippier with the corner for Newcastle United, drilled into this. That was a better corner, actually. But again, Manchester City clear it. Dan Burns' touch is awful. And now Phil Foden trying to beat Bruno and wins a throw into Man City and takes the pressure right off them. I mean, Gordon's not a left winger. Gordon is not a left winger. You know, I'm getting a bit frustrated with. I mean, Anderson, Gordon is as bad as Almiron. I want to see Gordon on the right. Get him on his normal foot. Long throw looking for Haaland. Good defending by Botman. De Bruyne flicks it over the top for Haaland. Haaland nods it back for Foden. That looked like a handball. And the referee does blow. That's a free kick to Newcastle. No sign of any changes yet, guys. What are we now on? 55 minutes, 10 minutes into the second half. And we still haven't had any sign of a change for Newcastle United. Although we do have substitutes warming up. Isak and Maxi, I've just seen a warming up, but they're not stripped or anything. And now we're trying to play out from the back with Lascelles. He goes long. It's not a great ball. Ake intercepts it. Grealish. Good work by Lascelles to win that ball back. Bruno had 3 players on him again. Towards Callum Wilson. Nothing comes. Mark, thank you for another £10 super chat. He says, for me, Eddie needs to grow a set of balls and bench Wilson. If not, players looking to join will be thinking, what's the point if a player is playing shit and they still kept the place? Yeah, but, you know, it doesn't inspire you, does it? I mean, if there was a bit of ruthlessness there to say, look, drop him. He's not playing well, and that'll give a sign to the other players. If you're not going to, you know, play well, you will lose your place. I don't see what Eddie Howe is seeing on this pitch today that justifies Callum Wilson still being there. And I've felt like that way about Callum Wilson for quite a while now. But, you know, he obviously sees something else. Only one attempt on goal in the second half, and that went to Manchester City. Oh, that's a nasty clash there between Ake and Trippier. Play's gone on. I'm not sure whether it's a head injury or not for Trippier. But anyway, now Bruno, Joe Linton, and out to the left now. Anthony Gordon cuts inside and gets a deflected shot. That should be a corner. And is indeed. Trippier is down holding his shin. And looks to be in some discomfort. In fact, it's Longstaff, not Trippier. My goodness me. I mean, he caught Ake's knee right on his shin, did Sean Longstaff. That was a nasty one. I'm not sure it was I'm not sure whether that was a foul, guys. I think it's just, you know, 50-50 challenge. That's all that was. I mean, he's having a word with Ake. I think Ake's eyes were on the ball there. I don't think Ake, you know, I don't think Ake meant any nastiness there at all. Longstaff's back on his feet. He just got a nasty bang on the shin there. Tyndall and Howe are getting conversation on the side, but again, it just doesn't look like there's any Guardiola's having a right chat with Sean Longstaff. I'm not sure what they were talking about there. Anyway, plays back underway, and Gundogan has the ball, nipped it inside to Rodri. Bruno slips and allows Rodri some space to run forward with the ball. Rodri gets round Joe Linton, plays it out to Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne down the right-hand side now to Phil Foden. Going against Dan Burn again. Cross comes in, intercepted by Botman. Joe Linton's got to be quicker than that. He was really slow, trying to take the ball down. De Bruyne almost intercepted the ball. Gundogan, nobody seems to want it at the minute. De Bruyne, Haaland! Well, again, trying the extravagant back to goal, let the ball come over his shoulder and smash it with his left foot. But nobody seemed to want the ball there. It was just bouncing around. And then Man City thought, oh, well, if you're not going to have it, we'll take it. Paul, what do you think of this copying history with Wilson? Sorry, with copying City and Eddie Howe disagreeing with is fearful. I just think I'm not worried about that. I think that's Ryan Fraser's attitude, to be honest. Nothing to do with Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe's done the right thing. You know, if you're going to have that kind of attitude, then you don't play. It's as simple as that. And if you're not committed to the cause. However, I've been scratching my head with why we haven't seen a change yet. It's, you know, we're an hour into the game now and we still haven't changed. We've offered nothing in this second half going forward. Absolutely nothing. And we haven't had a change. Chrissy says, would love Ake at Newcastle. Yeah, you know what it is? I used to, when he was linked with us, actually, a couple of transfer windows ago, and I sort of brushed it off. I thought, nah, I don't want him. But actually, you know, when I think about it, you know, when I've watched Ake this season, I've thought, do you know what? He's a decent player and very versatile as well. You know, he's playing left back today, but he's been mainly playing as a centre back for Manchester City. But you know what? He's looked okay today. Oh, Longstaff. Oh, you got lucky, Sean. You got lucky. He's given a foul against De Bruyne, but I think Sean tripped over. De Bruyne is not impressed with that. Let's have another look. He lost his foot in Sean Longstaff there, and he was very lucky to get a free kick. Anyway, long ball forward now out to the left for Anthony Gordon. Sorry, it's Joe Linton on the left here. Joe Linton brings it down beautifully. Finds Anthony Gordon. Gordon inside now to Longstaff. Longstaff, too slow. Ball pinched off him by Grealish, who goes down, and a free kick to Manchester City. Joe Linton's got to be careful here because he's already been booked. And here we go. 3 substitutions for Newcastle. 60 minutes. Not a surprise. First one coming off is Anthony Gordon. He's going to change the front 3 here, isn't he? That's what he's going to do. He's just going to change the front 3 like for like. Guardiola's just asked ASM Murphy and ASM to start warming up so they can come on around 65. So on comes Maxi with a bit of a point to prove. Callum Wilson comes off for Isak. Callum Wilson's simply been dreadful today. Absolutely dreadful. And it'll probably be... Oh, no, it's short. How is Miggy staying on the pitch? Sean Longstaff comes off for Willock. I don't understand how Miggy's still on. I mean, he's been dreadful today. Gordon's been better than Miggy. I'm sorry, but he really has. Put Gordon on the right-hand side with his proper bloody foot. Oh, yeah. Don't get it. Don't get it. However, let's see what happens there. We've got 30 minutes of this game to be played yet. Anything can happen. Manchester City, they're yet to make any changes. They've looked beyond comfortable in this second half, but it's still 1-0. And while the score's still 1-0, anything's possible. Willock now bursting forward for Newcastle United. Could have used Isak, but didn't. Now Miggy cuts in and going to the byline. No, he's not. He's seen Willock on the outside. Joe Willock gets a ball in the box. Oh, Joe Linton missed it. It comes to Maxi. Oh, play the ball, man. Oh, he's giving it away. Oh, my God. Oh, Joe Linton. Joe. It was a tap-in, man. It was a brilliant ball in from Joe Willock, and it just needed to be finished by Joe Linton. He completely miskicked it. It came to Maxi, and then Maxi didn't want to shoot. He then tries to bring it across the front of the goal of the box, and he gives it away. That's a great ball into Isak. Isak now, what can he do? It's shot, it's blocked. Isak! Oh, it's still loose. Oh, my God. How have we not equalised there? Staggering. Isak pulls the trigger. It's well blocked. He gets in there for the rebound. Edison, brilliant save. And Ake plays it behind. Much better from Newcastle, but what a miss this is by Joe Linton. That's a tap-in. That is a tap-in, and he's miskicked it. But this is better. Really much better. Trippier's corner is absolutely lethally bad again. trim my ball bag with a rusty razor. That was shocking. Again, not getting it over the first man. But this ball in by Willock is an absolute beauty. That just says, finish me now. And Joe Linton completely miskicks it as Manchester City do make a change. Kevin De Bruyne has left the field for Bernardo Silva. De Bruyne does not look impressed with things, but of course, Manchester City do have plenty of games coming up, which is probably why he feels like Bernardo Silva can do just the job as well. But what a big miss that is from Joe. I mean, I would have put Gordon right wing and took Miggy off. I have to say, but I don't know. I just don't know. Anyway, long ball played again. Akanji's under it for Manchester City. Botman brings it down, flicks it over the top, looking for Isak, but Akanji wanted it more. You know, we've got to be stronger there. Now, here's ESM. Plays the ball over the top, looking for the run of Isak. That's better, though. Isak's making some runs, and Maxi can see him. And we said in the preview, we were looking forward to seeing what Maxi was going to do with Isak. Finally, we'll get to see it. Now then, here come Newcastle again with Kieran Trippier. Trippier plays the ball through, looking for the pace of Isak. He will get there. Akanji all over the back of him. Brilliant play from Alexander Isak. Clips it across to the back post. Maxi's header, and Edison picks it up. Brilliant play from Alexander Isak to get rid of the Akanji there. Brilliant. Akanji comes over, but look at this bit of skill on the byline. Brilliant stuff. And then he clips it to the back post. Maxi, to be fair, it was a bit deep. Maxi tried to head it back, and Edison was quickly out. But this is much better from Newcastle. Shackles off here without a shadow of a doubt, and really giving Man City a go. Botman tries to clear it, but it's intercepted by Grealish. Bernardo Silva. And Botman's done that a bit today. His passing hasn't been great. Trippier wins the header against Ake. Willock now for Newcastle. Finds Trippier. Trippier gives it away to Ake. And there's a bit of space on the left now for Grealish. Grealish now having a run. Here's Haaland. Bernardo Silva. It's 2-0 Manchester City. Brilliant play by Man City. And Bernardo Silva finishes it off. And it's 2-0. And for me, that's game over. I mean, look, you know, Botman gave it away a couple of times there, and we end up conceding a goal. You can't do that. You just can't do that. And the substitute who came on for Kevin De Bruyne smashes it home, and it's 2-0. Just when we were starting to turn the curve a little bit with the substitutions, we started going and attacking them a bit more, and then bang, they hit us on the counter-attack. We lose the ball badly, to be honest. It's bad defending. I mean, Nick Pope here with the ball, clears it out. Ake wants it, wins it. It's terrible from Trippier. It's terrible. He gives the ball away, and that puts us in trouble. He wins the ball back from Grealish, but it goes to Haaland. Haaland onto Bernardo, and Bernardo, one touch, and bang. And that should be a lesson to us. You know, one touch, shoot. One touch, shoot. Brilliant goal. And well hit. Manchester City now leading by 2-0. And we are in deep trouble. It's a sucker punch, you know, just when we're getting a little game in the... Just getting back into it a little bit more. Things were looking very, very good. And then we can see the second. And Botman's just... well, that was a bit of a hash, but Maxi keeps it in. Bruno looking for the run of Maxi. He's going against Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker just blows him for pace there. And back to Edison. And Edison clears it long. But good pressure that from Isak. Put him under pressure and kicks the ball out. I'll never understand for the life of me why, Eddie's done what he's done today, because, clearly Maxi and Isak have made and Willock, to be fair, they've made a big difference to this side here. We look very dangerous going forward. But unfortunately, it's, capitulated. Here come Manchester City again down the left-hand side with Jack Grealish going up against Kieran Trippier. Grealish cuts onto his right. Back to Gundogan. Gundogan. A little touch by Bernardo. Back to Bernardo. Foden. Great tackle by Bruno. Get rid of it. I don't understand taking the extra touches. I never will. Maxi now, he's got 3 Manchester City players on him, and he gives away a foul and a free kick to Man City. I mean, what do you expect Maxi to do there? You know, you give him the ball in a situation where he's got 3 Manchester City players around him. He's desperately trying to hold on to the ball. And eventually, I think Rodri's gone down rather easily there, if I'm openly honest. I don't think that was a foul. But I'm sorry, I have to question the manager's decisions today, simply because, Maxi deserved to start because of how he played last week. Wilson deserved to be dropped. Miggy should have been dropped. And again, he's made the wrong substitution, taking Anthony Gordon off for me. I just don't understand. But that, like I said at the start of the show, questions have to be asked if they're not, if mistakes are made. In comes the free kick for City, right at the back post. It manages to avoid everybody. Ake picks it up for City, into Grealish now. Grealish tried to do that's poor again from Trippier, losing the ball. That's twice in the space of a couple of minutes. One led to a goal. Really poor from the right back there from Newcastle. And now Rodri on the ball. He'll take his time. It's not Rodri, it's the other guy, the other centre-back. And it's played now to Grealish. Grealish, 2 men on him, flicks it over the top. Bernardo Silva in acres of space, as is Haaland, but Botman stops the ball coming on. Haaland was in just right there to put that ball in the back of the net, but good defending from Botman. And City have a corner. Great ball over the top from Grealish for Bernardo. And look at the space. There's 3-on-1 there. And thank God Botman got the block in there, as that was 3-0. We're being tested, guys. There's no doubt about that. This is a period of time where we're all being tested. Fans, players, managers, the whole lot. City take a short corner. Here's Gundogan. Gundogan pulls it all the way back to Kyle Walker. Back to Gundogan. Gundogan in acres of space. Flicks the ball forward. That's Nick Pope's all day of the week. And Nick Pope launches a long throw looking for Isak. Maxi got a head on it. Maxi got the head on it, trying to get Isak away. But unfortunately, it's intercepted. But that was the right idea. I think it was just the wrong players in the wrong place. Isak should have been flicking that onto Maxi, maybe. But these subs have made a big difference. As down again goes Grealish and rolling around like a tart. Dan Burn having words with him. Oh, it's getting a bit feisty. Suddenly Grealish, and in comes Haaland. And Burns going at Haaland. And this is all done by Jack Grealish rolling around like a big absolute woof. There was no injury to him because he suddenly got up and had a go at Dan Burn. Tad saying all this whinging in the morning from Newcastle fans. You were in a relegation team last season, winding in. Yeah, that was last season. This is this season. And we're not playing well. And we have an opinion to say we're not playing very well. What? I'm not blowing smoke and roses up the arses when we're not playing well. Anyway, handbags going all over the place. I don't even know what the hell happened there. Burn and Haaland getting a talking to. Haaland booked and Dan Burn booked as well. How does Grealish get away with it? Because he started it all by rolling around like a fanny. I mean, how has he gone down clutching his leg? What an absolute tart. I mean, that's why players get annoyed, because he rolls around and then look at him. Suddenly he stands up. He doesn't even, he forgets he's injured, guys. Haaland and Burn having words with each other. 2 very tall men, it has to be said. Yeah, look, I'm getting a bit peed off with people saying, oh, look where you were last season. That's gone, guys. That's in the history. Yes, we did fantastic to get out of relegation. And yes, we've had a fantastic season so far. But you still can criticize, man. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, everything's rosy in the garden, when clearly it isn't. The manager's got it wrong today. Anyway, the ball's with Edison. Plays it out to the right-hand side. Kyle Walker. One touch back to Akanji. Into Rodri. Plays it up to Kyle Walker. Good tackle by Bruno. Bruno I don't know what he was doing there. He lashed the ball away, and it's ended up back to the Man City player. And then Bruno brings down. Oh, dear. Dear. I don't know what's going on with Grealish. I know the Newcastle bench have got involved with something going on with Grealish. Guardiola's calmed it all down. It's going. It's just nothing's happening. Oh, look, Jacob Murphy's coming on, and I wouldn't put a bet at Smiggy that it's coming off, because this is every time the substitution. Kyle Walker plays it all the way back to Akanji. Good play by Rodri there. And now Manchester City bring it away. Rodri again plays it wide to Kyle Walker, who's got a bit of space on the right-hand side now. Plays it down the line to Phil Foden. Foden got 3 Newcastle players to deal with. Back to Kyle Walker. Lovely ball, but good interception by Joe Linton. Very aware to the situation there, Big Joe. Bruno's gone down and handled the ball. Why does he do that? How many times do we see Bruno doing that? He gets the ball in a defensive position and tries to win a free kick. He falls over and just grabs the ball. There's no player near him. He slips over and grabs the ball. And it's put us... Oh, that is terrible, that. That is not great. Not great at all. As Guardiola just sits and ponders life on an ice bucket there. As Jacob Murphy does come onto the pitch. I believe it was for Almiron. It hasn't been confirmed yet. But I don't see any other change that he could possibly have made there. Yeah, it is Almiron that's gone off for Murphy. The usual time. What are we? 75, 76 minutes. Yeah. And Manchester City in a very, very good scoring opportunity here through a free kick that should never have happened. It's Gundogan. It's over the bar. Haven't really made much of their free kicks today. Just seeing that tackle again from Nathan Ake. Brilliant tackle. And the shocking miss kick by Callum Wilson. You know, we had so many chances to make it 1-1 in that first half. Even when Joe Linton there, he's just completely miskicked the ball. We just can't bloody score. And then quick thinking by Bernardo Silva, one touch, and then smashes it into the net. We just don't have any players who are willing to do that at the minute. It could have been very, very different. But unfortunately, it's not. Here's Dan Burn for Newcastle United. Burn to Joe Linton. Joe Linton now to Maxi. Maxi again, lots of players around him, but he does well. Skirts around one into Bruno. Good play that by Maxi. Bruno, though, goes all the way back to Jamal Lascelles. Lascelles to Kieran Trippier. Trippier now into Bruno. Bruno through the legs of Gundogan and finds Willock. Now Murphy. And Murphy will go up against Ake. Murphy's got the ball in. What a ball by Murphy! And Kyle Walker has to turn it behind. That was a brilliant bit of play by Jacob Murphy. Lovely ball by Bruno. Murphy's pace got round Ake. First time crosses an absolute peach. And there's nobody there. I mean, wow. There's just nobody there, man. Chance again goes begging, but we have another corner now. In it comes, right into the 6-yard area. Cleared away. It comes out to Joe Willock now. Willock just settles the ball down. Plays it back to Jacob Murphy. Murphy having a run. Going at the Man City back line. Now Maxi looking, pulls it back to Joe Linton. I thought Maxi might have gone the byline there, but he didn't. Trippier for Newcastle to Bruno. Bruno now plays it long into the box. It was a decent ball, and Dan Burn, well, he's not going to get there. And Akanji just lets it run for a goal kick to Manchester City. But what a ball that was, guys, by Jacob Murphy. Credit where credit's due. Nice little 1-2 with Bruno. And, he had the pace to beat Nathan Ake. There's no doubt about it. But unfortunately, it all ended as nobody seemed to want to go into the box to try and win the ball. But there you go. Edison with a with a goal kick for Manchester City. And he plays it long to Jack Grealish, who gets a touch on the ball to Ake. And the ball is now back with Edison again. Plays it to Rodri. And Manchester City, again, trying to play the ball out a little bit scruffy there. But now they do. Long ball up the field again. Good play by Lascelles. No. Haaland's gone down. And well, I'm not sure what was going on there. Haaland was looking at him thinking, what are you doing? I mean, literally, he's got his arm around his neck. I mean, that is the usual Jamal Lascelles challenge. And Haaland just looking at him thinking, wow, matey. God. I really could do with a final whistle now, guys. We've offered, I mean, very little second half. I mean, to be honest, the substitutions were made. We had a very positive 5 or 6 minutes. But then Man City scored a second goal. And it's just fizzled. Here's Phil Foden for Manchester City now. Sorry, it's not. It's Bernardo Silva. Gives it to Rodri. Back to Bernardo. He's got Rodri in support, but instead goes back to Akanji. Akanji brings it over the halfway line. I mean, Man City clearly here, in no hurry. They know the game is won. They just need to see it out. But again, not strong enough that from Joe Linton. He needs to be 50-50s. We just don't seem to be wanting to know either. And here's Grealish now on the left-hand side. Ake makes the overlap and run. Good work by Trippier. And it's a corner to Manchester City. Do you know what it is when we play these early games on a Saturday and you kind of, you've got to sort of take it on the chin for the whole weekend. You know what I mean? It's just like Saturday lunchtime and now we've got the whole weekend to ponder. Oh, it's shit, man. Anyway, Manchester City, just about 8 minutes left of normal time. Phil Foden will take the corner for Manchester City. In it comes. Right to the back post. Good header away by Lascelles. Grealish picks it up. He's got an overlap here from Gundogan. Gundogan somehow manages to keep the ball. Oh, it was Rodri. I do apologise. Maxi comes back to help out. Good fighting. Maxi, please just get up. There's nothing the matter with you. Pope throws it out quickly to Isak. Isak inside to Bruno. Bruno couldn't get there though. And Man City calmed the situation down again. Maxi going on a run, pressing hard. Good work that by Maxi, getting back and helping out there. And now Dan Burn plays it down the line looking for Bruno. Bruno now. 2 men on him. In fact, it was Joe Linton. But Joe Linton seemed to turn one man. And then he gives a free kick away. I mean, Kyle Walker's so experienced. As soon as he feels Joe Linton anywhere near him, putting pressure on him, he'll go down. He'll win a free kick and just ease the pressure on Manchester City. As we're looking at some very disgruntled Newcastle United fans. One with his top off there with a scarf on. I mean, what sense does that actually make? Interesting. But this is a test for Eddie Howe now. It's a test of how we respond and how we recover, to try and better ourselves this season. We've got some decent games coming up. Let's not forget that. But I don't think Man City have been superb here today. They've done what they've had to do. We have missed some glorious sitters, it has to be said. This game could be very different. You look at Joe Linton's opportunity, Callum Wilson's opportunity, Sean Longstaff's chance. For some reason, we just cannot find the back of the net at the minute. And of course, Man City are the type of team now that know how to play out a game. Willock now finds Bruno. Bruno brings it forward for Newcastle United. Looking to the run of Murphy, but he doesn't find him. He cuts back and gives it to Lascelles. But again, when we do that just sort of breaks the defenders down. And, Man City can reset there. They're chasing back there when Bruno's got the ball, but we turn the wrong way. Jim, I thought I saw Whitley Warriors jacket in the crowd there. Yeah. Strange that. Botman back to the cells now. Back to Botman. We're being pressed back. We're just going backwards and backwards. And eventually Dan Burn just kicks it out of play. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. It's one of them days again, guys. It really is, where we just need to just get back on the bus, get home, and regroup again. But to be honest, I still look back at the team selection and a little bit staggered by the whole thing. Here's Ake for Man City to Grealish. Grealish goes down and wins a free kick. Refuses to shake hands with Kieran Trippier. What a bell end. I mean, you know what? Well, Matt Targett's coming on, guys. I'm not sure what he's doing here or who's coming off yet, but it's Matt Targett who's coming on. I really don't see the point of this. I mean, Matt Targett needs match minutes, but 5 minutes? Really? Strange one. Anyway, Jack Grealish. Lovely 1-2 with Gundogan. Grealish into Haaland. Back to Grealish. Grealish. Lovely little ball in for Foden. Good save by Nick Pope. That was a lovely move, to be fair, to Manchester City. It was a lovely move and a really good save. Really, really good save by Nick Pope down to his right-hand side. Grealish to Haaland. Back to Grealish. Into Foden. Foden first-time shot. Good save. Just managed to get his hand on a good, strong hand to keep it out. And by the way, I mean, Dan Burns come off. Talk about goalkeepers. I don't think Dubravka should be being back on the bench today. I think it should have been Karius, and I think it should be Karius moving forward. I don't think Martin Dubravka deserves to be on there. And I think for what Karius did last week, and then he's just dumped back out of the squad again, it just beggars belief. Beggars belief. It really does. But anyway, Matt Targett's now back on at left back. So let's see how he does for the final 3 or 4 minutes. Oh, dear. Edison's completely sliced that. And Kyle Walker kind of gets him out of trouble. But he slices his clearance as well. Edison's kicking's been woeful today, guys. Absolutely woeful. But we haven't capitalized on it at all, to be honest. Trippier now over the top looking for Isak. Too high for Isak, and Man City just played out little one-touch football. This is what we were doing earlier in the season. This one-touch give and go. We seem to have lost our bearings when it comes to that. Good interception there by Joe Linton. Flicks it to Isak. Isak now. Inside to Joe Willock, who's got a bit of space. He's about 35 yards out here. Goes down the line to Murphy. Murphy puts in a blinder again. And Isak can't get on the end of that one. 2 absolutely special crosses come in from Jacob Murphy, but we haven't capitalised. Here's Bruno now to Willock. Nice bit of play by Joe Willock. Finds Trippier on the right-hand side. Trippier. The ball bounces around. And it's cleared away. Grealish comes back to help out and wins a goal kick for Manchester City. Well, for me, they may as well blow the pig and whistle now. Get it over with. As I've just shown Phil Foden's goal again. I'm still not sure how he was allowed to get through 5 or 6 Newcastle players to get a shot in there. Very, very special talent, though, is Phil Foden. Anyway, launched up the pitch by Edison as we're coming into the final minute of normal time. Oh, please, God, don't put another 5-6 minutes on. Just get this game out the way. And another game which we have failed to score. And that's got to become a bit of a concern now because we are failing to put the ball in the net on so many occasions. Again, we've had some really good chances here today to score some goals. Many, many opportunities, but we just haven't put the ball in the back of the net. and you've got to start asking questions now. I mean, again, we've seen no change of formation or anything like that today. You know, he's stuck with a 4-3-3 despite the substitutions, and you know, it just seems we don't have a plan B from this. We're just sticking to this one formation. You know, when I mean, Guardiola changes formations. You know, the top managers change formations. Why can't we do that? You know, I'm not buying into this. Well, we haven't got the players, because we have. We can play a different formation to 4-3-3. Haaland wins another corner for Manchester City as they're just ticking time away here. I mean, look, there's no excuses today, as far as I'm concerned. Eddie's got it wrong with the team lineup. You know, again, we've been poor. We failed to finish. You know, when opportunities have come our way to score, we failed again. So that falls on the players. You know, but all round, manager, players, everybody. As Jamal Lascelles, I believe, has just been booked. Maxi's gone hobbling away. Jamal Lascelles has just told him to get up. It's all got. Honestly, Maxi there looked like he Lascelles was arguing on, and Lascelles was pushed. Maxi then got stood on, and then all of a sudden, Maxi goes down. Lascelles tells him to get off his arse. I mean, this is about the 5th corner now. It's just staying in this corner. Grealish now for Manchester City. Now Newcastle can break away. No, they can't. It's intercepted. Now comes to Joe Linton. Joe Linton plays it forward straight to Rodri, and he plays a looping ball over looking for Phil Foden. Matt Targett sees him off. We've got 4 minutes of additional time, guys, of which we've almost had 2. Lascelles pumps it long, looking for Isak, nowhere near him. Rodri now for Manchester City. Yeah, those, JK, you're right, those corners were shithousery. About 5 or 6 of them. Just played it off Joe Linton every time out for a corner. But you know what? We're at home to Wolves next week. It's an opportunity for us to get back to winning ways, get a bit of confidence back in the side. And that's what we need, you know, because I'm sure, you know, once we get that elusive win again and we get out of this funk, you know, we can start heading in the right way again. As I think Gundogan's just been booked there for a foul on Jacob Murphy. Unless it's my eyes, Gundogan won the. Excuse me, Gundogan won the ball there, but never mind. Nathan says, only my opinion, mate, so don't make the sound offensive, but why are we talking about why we don't change formation? We had probably more clear-cut chances and we have just not taken them. Yeah, I agree with that, Nathan, to be honest. But what I'm saying is, you know, how many games have we seen now where we just do, you know, we don't try and change anything during the game and it all goes to pot. I'd just like to see something different, really. Listen, I don't think we've had a bad performance by any stretch of the imagination. Again, I'd say frustrating. I don't think we played badly. It's just been frustrating. And that's been the case for the last few games now. Frustration is the word. So we've got Trippier over this and we've got Matt Targett over it. It's going to have to be a hell of a free kick to beat Ederson from there, to be honest. I think the one at home was a bit closer to the goal. But anyway, Trippier is going to hit it. It is on target, but it's safely down to Ederson's left-hand side, and he hangs onto it. The 4 minutes are up. I think the referee may well blow his whistle very, very shortly. It did take a slight deflection, that as well, so Ederson did well to keep a hold of that. But there's the final whistle. It's finished at the Etihad. And it's finished Manchester City 2, Newcastle United 0. Nathan, also is Murphy pushing for a start? Thank you for your super chat. Maybe. But it has come to an end, and an end that we pretty much didn't want. 2-0 to Manchester City. But, what can you say? Chances were there, and chances were missed. I have to say, they were there, but we didn't take them. And, that's what happens. We get punished for not taking chances. I think when we made the substitutions, we looked better. We did. There was a spell in the game where, 5-10 minutes where we were putting the pressure on Manchester City. We did look like we could possibly get back. We missed a couple of opportunities, and then bang, they hit us on the counter attack. The goal score, Bernardo Silva. But yeah, Graham makes a point there. Sick of giving teams a run for the money, but always coming away with nothing, and that's the frustrating thing at the minute. And that's what we need to try and change, because it is, we're coming away with nothing. And how long do you put up with that for? Alex, hi.
Hello.
Billy's joining us as well. Alex, what did you think?
Substitutions were too late. It just wasn't. It wasn't balanced. It wasn't a good. People weren't focused like that. Leaving Trippier on his own. A lot of people were blaming Trippier for that, and yeah, it wasn't great. But that big hole in front of him. He's got. You need a bit of a midfielder to step over to cover, or Miggy. Somebody needs to be there.
Yeah, but you can't give the ball away like that, Alex. I mean, he did it twice in the space of 2 minutes. He did it for the goal, and then he did it straight after the goal as well. Just gave the ball away needlessly.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, there were 3 people near Trippier, and he's on his own. He's going to make a mistake. 9 times out of 10 he gets out of that situation, but he will lose the ball occasionally when there's that many people on him. Everybody will. There's got to be an additional pass there, and I think we got stuck in a little bit of a attacking mentality in those few moments, and there wasn't. He made a mistake. He's got to take accountability for that. And additionally, I think there were just too many men forward. But that being said, it was a lovely 5 minutes while it lasted, and it almost proves that Eddie Howe got it massively wrong with the starting lineup today.
Billy, again, missed opportunities, missed chances. Like I said in the commentary there, I don't think we did that badly today. It was just, again, I think frustration is the word, but that word keeps cropping up every time we play a bloody game of football lately, and we just can't put the ball in the net. Joe Linton missed an absolute sitter as far as I'm concerned. That was a tap in. Isak had an opportunity which was well saved. Murphy put 2 wonderful balls across, and we're just not getting on the end of them.
Well, I think Jacob Murphy's cameo should get him a start next week, if I'm perfectly honest. He's done more on that right hand side than Miggy's done for four matches. Yeah, he was outstanding. Well, not outstanding, but he's creating stuff, and that's something that Almon isn't doing. Yeah, frustrating. It's a sign of how far we've come when we've seen Man City doing that. To keep the ball in the corner tactics at the end. I thought that was pathetic from them. A side that's been built on millions and millions, hundreds of millions of pounds against our side, and they're doing that and getting, taking the piss basically. I thought it was disgusting. But yeah, a game of missed chances, and had we took our chances, we could have easily won that game. And we haven't played badly, I don't think. Just a couple of mistakes defensively, not enough potency up front. But again, from in between the 2 penalty boxes, I thought we played really well.
Ian Fleming, thanks for the £5 super chat. He says, I don't think we were that bad, but Wolves is a must-win game now. Yeah, it is. I think we have to get a win sooner or later to get the confidence back more than anything. But Alex, were you surprised he brought Gordon off and not Miggy?
I thought Miggy had moments where he looked a little bit better. There was a moment in the second half where he did manage to get the better of Ake, and unfortunately it went out. So there were moments where Miggy looked a little bit better, but I mean, I don't think Gordon was incredible either. I think they were just all right. I think they looked worse because they didn't have Isak there, and then obviously Miggy stayed on for a little bit longer before the Murphy change. Yeah, it's just missed chances. It really is. Joe Linton not working hard enough to get into the box towards the end for crosses. because Isak had already drifted out. You know, that game had got there was the potential for us to get, you know, a point out of that game and maybe draw it 1-1 if we concentrate and we take just one of those chances. There is the potential for a 1-1 scoreline there, because although they scored 2, they only had an XG of just over 1, so 2-0 flatters them considerably. On another day, that could have been 1-1, and it's a shame. We just need to start taking some chances and focusing a bit.
And of course, Billy Joe Linton now misses 2 games through suspension, picking up another yellow card. You know, the obvious thing is obviously Willock is there just to step in for Joe Linton. But do we need to change formation? Do we need to have a bit of a relook at things and try something different?
Possibly, but he's not going to. He's going to stick with the inverted wingers. I thought Joe Linton was really lucky, actually. I think he made one. That was his first foul of the match. He got booked for it. We've seen equivalent fouls from other players, and they weren't booked for it. So yeah, I thought the referee was poor there. I didn't think it was a yellow card challenge. We
he did make 3 or 4 smaller fouls after that, so he probably would have been booked eventually anyway.
After he did, yeah. But for the first one he made, wasn't a yellow card challenge, not on its own. But like you say, afterwards he did make 2 or 3 more. I was disappointed with Joe Linton today, actually. I just don't think he imposed himself on the game at all. I know it's hard against that quality of opposition, but I expected a little bit more. I thought Bruno was very good, despite obviously looking not 100% fit, because I don't think he is. But yeah, it's disappointing. It's a game we could have got points out of it. And Dan, the referees are shit in the league. That's why I criticise them every week, because they're awful. Yeah, and him they was better than most, but still poor.
I thought Botman looked a bit iffy today, guys. Not defending wise, but bringing his passing was a little shaky, and he gave the ball away a few times as well. I just think we need kind of a reboot, don't we? We just need to get a goal off somebody's arse or shin or whatever it may be, just to try and get the confidence back up, Alex. I mean, Wolves next week is a big opportunity to do that. But Wolves are a funny team. They've had some great results this season, and there've been some absolutely shocking ones. So it's not a game we can turn around and say, "Oh yeah, we'll easily get 3 points," because it won't be like that. Because we're not in form. But are we in form? Because we're not playing too badly, actually.
I mean, I would say again, it's another one of those days where 75 to 80 minutes of the entire game have been adequate, with the exception of not taking the chances. So it's not. It does feel like we're playing okay. We're just missing the final pieces of the puzzle. As Eddie Howe's alluded to, that run of form. When we beat Southampton 4-1 and we went on a goal scoring run, we were scoring some goals we shouldn't really have scored. We should have scored 2 and we were banging in 5. Like we were everything was hitting the back of the net. And we're paying for it now over it does even itself out over the course of a season. And Wolves are no joke. They can go to sleep and have really poor performances. Fingers crossed it's that. But they've also gone and beaten Liverpool 3-0 this season, which we've been nowhere near. So they've got to be respected. They've got some highly technical players for a side so sort of mid-table or struggling as Wolves at the moment. They've got some incredibly technically gifted players. Again, we know a lot of our Portuguese lads don't like, Portuguese-speaking lads. Obviously, Joe Linton's suspended, but they do like to have a bit of a gob off, don't they? Because they can all understand each other. So we'll see, but we can't underestimate Wolves by no means. It's going to be another tough game.
Absolutely. Tide DV, welcome to Members Club. Thank you very much. And also 12th man Toon. Thank you very much. I believe that's Paul joining up as a member. There could be renewals or new memberships, but thank you either way for being in the Members Club. And a $4.99 super chat from Nathan Howells. And he says, bonus question, who was the last player to score for Newcastle in the Premier League?
Almiron against Bournemouth.
Mm-hmm. And do you know, Dan Kane has made a point. The last Newcastle player to score at the Etihad was DeAndre Yedlin.
That's concerning.
Christ on a bike.
That's very concerning.
Wow. Dirk Diggler says even Sylvain Marveau would get goals in this team. I didn't think Marveau was a bad player, actually.
He was underrated.
Yeah. But there you go. I mean, look, it is what it is, guys. We've lost again. It's a disappointing. It's always disappointing losing on a lunchtime game because we've got the rest of the bloody weekend now just to sulk on it. You know what I mean? It's a part of Saturday afternoon or a Sunday afternoon game. Yeah, you get it in the next week. But when it's on a lunchtime on a Saturday, you think, bloody hell. It's 2:30 in the afternoon, and you're thinking, Christ, we've got the rest of the bloody day plus tomorrow to sulk about it. But that's the life of being a Newcastle United fan. Anyway, we will be back at some point with the review this weekend. I'm not sure whether it's tonight or tomorrow. I will talk it over with the guys over WhatsApp later on this afternoon. But thank you very much to everybody. Billy and Alex, thank you very much, and we'll catch you guys later.
Okay.
Take care. So there you go, Billy and Alex with their thoughts. And of course, we will be back with the live match review either today or tomorrow night, whenever it may well be. Just keep an eye on the channel, guys. Hit the like button. And of course, if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe, as so many people have again this afternoon. Thank you so much for that. We really do appreciate it. Thank you to all the super chatters, new members, and of course, the mods. Fantastic work again during a very busy time for the channel. But thank you to everybody that's watched. Unfortunately, again, we don't score. We don't celebrate a goal. We lose again. But surely that corner has to be turned very, very soon. But we'll see you on the next one, guys. And try and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a good one. And we'll see you soon. Take care.